Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me, as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog, comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
Well, would you looky here? We're about ready to put a bow on this pig. And how do you say this, Josh? File another friggin' work week into the damn books. And we sure as hell hope some of yous are in the same spot. I couldn't say it any better than Milwaukee Grizzly Heezes, who sent us a text already. This sumbitch said this. He said, "Put it in reverse, Terry." It's the weekend. Hell yes. Put it in reverse, Uncle Terry. It's a great way to say it. On a personal note, Josh, you know how I can tell I've been working too much lately and haven't been taking care of myself? Right now, my fingernails have grown so long that typing on my computer keyboard is difficult.
I hate that. But I like to have them crazy short. So anything that basically is parallel to the tips of my fingers, I got to get rid of. So I know what you mean. My wife, I have no idea how she types with her long fingernails. It looks ridiculous, even on her phone.
You keep up with such a thing.
Oh, yeah. I have to. Because just like you would, once the nails start hitting the keys, I got to get rid of those.
I try to, but then this happens and that happens. It's not always at the front of my mind. There's a saying I'm missing, top of mind. And now I'm having a difficult time with this friggin'. If Uncle Terry was here and he got a look at my fingernails, he'd ask me to put my fingernails in reverse. It's disgusting.
Yeah, you are kind of getting a bit of a vampire vibe there.
Can you see him?
Or like just the beginnings of a transformation into a werewolf.
Right. No, that's what it looks like.
If you pause the movie at the right time, that's where they're at.
Here's the thing. I got a couple of texts already saying, be a man and just bite them off. That's what I always did up until a couple of years ago. But true story, my teeth are in such terrible shape, I'm afraid I'm going to lose a tooth biting my... I'm serious.
Did you bite into a rib or something? No.
Just wear and... Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
How'd you break it? Were you playing some beer league hockey? No, I tried to bite off my finger. I was always a fingernail. I couldn't understand why, when I was a kid, up until a few years ago, I could not understand why anyone would take the time to use a fingernail clipper when you can just bite them off. But now I'm afraid I'll lose a tooth. Right now, if you're a new listener, you're saying, who is this disgusting animal that's on the radio right now with the fingernails and the bad teeth? It's me. So, yeah, I'm not going to risk trying to bite them off, Josh. You're going to have to deal with this look.
Well, yeah, I'm fine with it. It's more you I'm concerned about.
Will you bite them for me?
Sure, if you need me to. I've never bitten my nails, I grew up in a household where we had a nail clipper.
That's crazy to me.
I've never bit mine either, but I rip them, and I think that's a worse habit.
You never bit them off?
No.
Rip them?
Yeah, just with my other fingers, just go from the side and clip them that way.
There aren't any fingernails on your hand that are a little too firm for that?
No.
I'll be dipped.
I'm not a nail biter. Pillows? Yeah, I've been known. But nail biter, no. For no real reason. I'm not an anti-nail biter, an anti-nailite. Go ahead and bite them. I just have always had a nice pair of clippers, and they work great.
I just look like a freak right now. Speaking of disgusting, it's going to be around 1,000 degrees outside tomorrow and Sunday. And just my luck, I've gone and volunteered for some mascot work at Valley Fair this weekend. I'm kicking myself over that.
Is that true?
Of course not.
I thought maybe you were doing something for your niece or she had some sort of school event.
Oh, man. I mean, I would love to revive my role that I played many years ago at the State Fair when I have some mascot experience through my lifetime. But I'm not going to do it when, oh, my God, it's going to be just brutal tomorrow and Sunday.
Some friends of mine invited us over to their pool, and I don't think that might even be too hot for a pool.
You get in the water for a little while, it'll feel all right, but you better get your ass into the shade pretty quickly after that.
Exactly.
25 years ago, probably at this point, I was at the State Fair with an ex-coworker, and some State Fair employee was walking us around. I think because we had some kind of an appearance there, some kind of radio station thing, so we had to meet this State Fair employee, and they were going to show us where to go and what to do. And we had some downtime, and we saw this storage shed where we were walking with the State Fair employee, and just out of curiosity, we said, well, what's in that storage shed over there? And the guy said, oh, it's a bunch of mascot outfits. And we said, well, we got an hour to kill before this stupid radio station thing happens. Would you be cool with us putting on some mascot outfits and running around the fair for a little while? It was a nice day. It wasn't hot. Otherwise, we never would have had the idea.
No.
And the guy said, yeah, go ahead. So the first couple of costumes we saw, I mean, these were old, like from the 70s or something, just big, like almost like a set of football shoulder pads you had to put on in order to carry this heavy, thick mascot outfit around. They were huge and heavy. The first two we saw were vegetables. So my ex-coworker, God rest his soul, actually, at this point, sadly, he ran around the fair for a while as a stalk of broccoli, and I was a massive carrot.
I bet, knowing who you're talking about, he never had broccoli in his entire life. Did he think it was just a tree?
Oh,
I bet he had no idea even what it was.
Oh, God dang. Now you're gonna make me tell stories about I mean, I don't know why I'm what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know why I'm avoiding saying his name. Cabby. Otherwise known as Crazy Cabby.
He was one of the biggest characters that's ever worked here.
Otherwise known, his real name was Lee, and he passed. How long has he been gone now? It hasn't been terribly long.
A few years.
Oh, God.
Was this pre-pandemic?
I don't recall.
Let's see.
Worked here, well, at 93.7 The Edge.
Oh, it was last year. Okay.
God, it was
seems
only
longer ago.
It does. Time is effed for me these days. I can't tell one year from the next. Worked years and years and years ago here at 93.7 The Edge, and then also did some time there at KQ, did some time on the Howard Stern show. He and I were pretty tight there for a while, and I mean, my God, did we have some friggin' fun back in the day. And the two of us running around as vegetable mascots at the State Fair was one of the highlights. I mean, that guy, when he was feeling up to it, he was one of the most fun people to hang out with. God
I'll
dang.
second that. I mean, he might be the biggest character that's ever been in this building.
We're going to do it all day. If we start, we're going to tell stories all day. And I know we did when he passed. We talked about him on the radio, and we talked about all these stories. Oh, man. And then later in my life, back to mascotting or mascot work. Later in my life, of course, I almost died and simultaneously killed a child while portraying a chicken mascot at a children's hospital. And then you could go back to high school when I was, for one day, the mascot of our high school ball clubs. You know what I'm talking about? The school mascot. One day. I only lasted one day. They fired me. So, but God, no. I'm not... You'd have to pay me all the money in the world to be a mascot tomorrow and Sunday.
Oh, it's going to be outrageous.
Or do anything outdoors tomorrow and Sunday.
I mean, today's the first day of summer, and it's showing up pretty quick. Is it going to be that hot today?
It's going to be like 85 today.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find an excuse not to mow my lawn, and I'm thinking, I shouldn't mow it because that'll be too damaging for the lawn this weekend.
Sure.
Is that safe to say?
I had that thought. I've heard that story before.
I thought about doing it last night, and I thought, well, I can't do that.
Just don't overdo it. Yeah, today should be, it's hot, but tolerable. Tomorrow and Sunday, oppressive. I'm actually, with the scorching heat tomorrow, I am looking forward to one thing. One of my oldest pals, Big Phil, is hosting a party at his house tomorrow for one of his children is graduating high school. And Big Phil is a notorious sweater. This is the kid I've told you about where when we were 10, 12, and we'd ride our bicycles in the summer down to the Ben Franklin in Wayzata so we could play video games. Josh, they had two, of course, it's the early 80s, so they had the big fat arcade games. The two games we would ride our bicycles down there to play almost every day in the summer. One, track and field.
Oh, that's such a
great game. Yep.
I loved that game.
Oh, with your rhythm, I bet you're really good at the game, Nick.
Well, I could go, yes, with my ability to drum, hand paddle, whatever you want to call it. Yes, I was one of the quicker guys when rapping on the buttons, playing the old stand-up track and field game. The other game they had us set up, Josh, the other game they had set up for us there at Ben Franklin and Wayzata in the early 80s, and this is the one that Big Phil would spend his money on, was Karate Champ.
That was a great one,
Another
too.
fun one.
Is that the one where it's like, point red?
Yes.
Point white.
And Big Phil, the notorious sweater, even when he was 10 or 11 years old, would bring a sweat towel for when he was playing the because he would pour sweat. It would drip down onto the game, even in the air conditioning. He's just... So tomorrow he's hosting a party. I haven't seen him in a while, and I'm imagining we're going to spend some time indoors, I hope. But I bet he will be very much on edge despite the celebratory tone of the party. And I'm looking forward to maybe he'll turn over a table of hors d'oeuvres or something because of the heat.
This person says they have to film a wedding all day tomorrow outdoors. Oh, can you imagine?
Oh.
Somebody's going to pass out. Somebody in a suit's going to go down.
Don't you have to alter that?
Yeah, maybe there's some sort of facility they can move into.
Because grandmas and grandpas and others like that, they can't be doing that when it's supposed to feel like 110 degrees tomorrow and Sunday. I like the Twins are supposed to play day games tomorrow and Sunday.
Ooh.
Don't you think they gotta move that to 7 o'clock or someone's gonna drop dead?
God, imagine sitting on the baseline with the sun cooking down on you at 1 o'clock tomorrow.
There's not going to be anybody on the third baseline.
No,
unless they're insane.
Yeah,
it's going to be a swamp.
If you were the groom, Josh, it was your wedding, wouldn't you make a phone call and say, "Look, we got to push this off"?
Yeah.
I mean, I know
or
that's
certainly uninvite the people that my mom made me invite. That kind of thing.
I know it's a lot easier said than done, but I would not feel comfortable going to hosting anything.
I would think there's an indoor area where they're going to be, wouldn't you? Not just all outdoors?
Well, for the wedding, no. But for the reception, sure.
Well, that's what I mean. Maybe they just do it in the area where the reception is.
I see. Just move it into...
Yeah.
There you go. Right. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I think because I'm the dumber of the two of us.
Oh,
that's why I didn't think... Oh, man. We've all been to a couple of those, right? The summer wedding where it's friggin' just...
Yeah.
God dang.
My buddy, I've mentioned this before, he had his wedding in Kansas City. I'd never been there. It was May, and it's the hottest place I've ever been. And through work, we've been to Jamaica. We were in the Virgin Islands. That was I had to look around thinking I was in a different country when we got off the plane. It was outrageous, and we're all in suits and everything. Yeah, there was a couple of people that we thought were going to go down. Older people, like you said, Nick. That was really rough.
Yeah, there is a reason my wife and I decided to pick March, the end of March, to get married. A, because it's a lot cheaper than the summer, but B, because we're both sweaty people, and we did not want to even mess with that. We'd rather risk some snow maybe happening than what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah, I hear you. I would, if I were in charge, I'd cancel all outdoor activities tomorrow and Sunday. Here's a listener saying there's ARCA, ARCA racing. I'm not sure which is the proper way to say that. Josh, have you ever raced an ARCA?
I have not.
tomorrow at Elko, and he's looking forward to seeing how quick the tires melt.
Well, I was really considering going out to the back to the 50s deal they got going on at the fair again.
Oh, is that this weekend?
It's this weekend, but I'm such a wimp with heat. I don't know. Now, it is true. I'm told not to get super overheated because I have epilepsy, and it is a seizure trigger. So I got to be careful of that, but it would be fun to go out there, like you said. By the way, while we're talking about that, big shout out to 64 C10 Jesus, Turbo 63 Jesus, and lowered C10 Jesus. They're waiting for the gates to open, bring their sweet trucks in.
Starts this morning.
Yeah, they get in there at 6 a.m., they said.
I hope someone's got a cooler full of ice water or something. Backdoor slamming walleye Jesus texted in. By the way, 651-989-9393 is how you can always get a hold of us. He said he can't remember which mascot I portrayed when I ran the race thing at Field for a Twins game. What do they call that? It's the blankety blank.
What is that?
The run for the... Anyway.
Yeah.
Hills.
When I did the mascot race at Target Field, I was Louie the Loon. And I came in dead last, and it wasn't even close. Oh, God, I was so far behind the others. But I don't run anymore, and I haven't run for decades. On that evening, it was about 60 degrees, and it was just the perfect weather for that.
And it's a lot longer run when you're down there than it looks in the stands.
I didn't think it was that long of a run. I just can't run.
You just can't run?
No,
Okay.
Did you do it?
I've done it once, yeah.
What were you?
I don't remember. I think I was in the Loon, too.
How do you not remember what you were for the mascot race?
He drinks a lot.
Yeah, it was like 15 years ago.
So was mine. I actually wish the run was longer.
So you could have, paced yourself and caught up?
Well, no,
drafted?
No. I couldn't have possibly cared how I finished in the race. I knew I was going to be last.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's too short. Whether you're running it or as a spectator. You go from left field to third base. Beep, it's over. I think that's kind of weak, really. It should be longer. But that's just maybe the liquor talking.
Oof. A few people are texting in saying they got to work outdoors today in construction. My goodness, I feel for you.
Today, they're going to be all right. Today's not going to be that bad.
Well, they didn't specify if they meant this weekend or today or what.
I thought you said today. If you're working this weekend or doing anything, like I said, outside, if I were in charge, I'd cancel it. So, there you go. 2 regular contributors to this here radio program are out today. Smashley, still down, but doing better. And I would almost bank on her return on Monday.
She's going a little stir crazy, it sounds like.
We chatted with her a little bit last night. Is she going nuts?
Yeah, she's really, well, she wanted to get out of the hospital. And she was just completely going nuts laying in that bed, and she wants to get back to work. So.
What put her in the hospital? Was it the incident?
Yeah, it was the incident.
She's out of the hospital, but doing better.
That incident.
And great to hear that. Randy Shaver has the day off, and some of you might be saying, why? Don't care. I really don't know.
That's kind of funny where he's like, I'm not going to be on Friday. Everyone's like, all right, cool. You got something going on? Yeah, nobody even asked him.
I don't remember if he told us why, and I don't remember if we bothered asking. But Randy Shaver's got the day off, too.
He texted me on last Sunday, so 5 days ago, and told me why, and I don't remember either. He just said I won't be on Friday, and I just got to say the same thing. Okay.
All right, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Your life, bruh.
We'll make it work.
Yeah, so those lucky pricks, they got the day off.
Ooh, Concrete Cowboy Jesus has Twins tickets. He won them from work for tomorrow at 1 on the third baseline. Oh, that's the worst place to be on a hot day. But he said he won them, so he must go.
Well, go, but just stand in the shade.
Yeah.
F your assigned seats.
Watch the game on TV from one of the bars inside Target Field.
Those third baseline tickets should be less expensive on the super hot days.
June through August, they should be less expensive. Maybe, possibly, they do move these to night games. I mean, I think it depends on the Brewers' schedule or the Twins' schedule. I don't have their calendars in front of me. It's all about travel. Uh-oh, I got a sneeze on deck.
Do it.
I'm trying. It's all about their travel schedule.
Yeah, I'll look up the Brewers schedule because the Twins I know are in town for a while.
There is a chance, slight chance, maybe they move those to night games. Specifically Saturday. Sunday, getaway day. They might not be able to do it, but maybe you get lucky for tomorrow's game. Because that is too hot. Oh, someone tells me at the Twins games they recently changed the Mascot run so you go from left center to the first base side. Well, that is a longer run. Well, that's good to hear. I always thought it should be a longer event because it's fun, whether you're doing it or whether you're watching it. I've been chirping for years about how I wish they would loosen things up a little bit more at Target Field with the Twins. More of what you get from the Saints at the big league level.
Sure.
And I don't know why. It seems to be so tightly wound over there. But great. So the Mascot race is longer? Good. Glad to hear it. Oh, man. So what else is going on?
I'm hoping we get some Booze Cruise tickets today. Haven't heard from our guy yet.
Well, we never hear from our guy. The guy that's got the tickets.
I think he likes to party.
Say something to us. we would. It's a week away. A week away from the cuck throne. A week away from beers and jaw-jacking and having a good time out on the boat. Sure. Love to give him away today if we can get a word, one way or the other, from the guy.
You know, if it's like a lot of years, next Friday is going to be the hottest day in a decade. It seems like our 4th of July Booze Cruise, 9 times out of 10, are on the hottest day ever. I'm glad we're doing them in the evenings now because that was rough at times in the afternoon.
I really honestly hated a lot of those days because it was so hot. And the cruise started at, 11 o'clock in the morning as opposed to 7 o'clock at night?
Yeah, maybe even earlier. I'm trying to remember because we'd broadcast till 9. We used to broadcast on the deck.
Yeah.
It started, on the dock.
10 to 2 maybe or something. Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. I think it was like at 10 a.m.
And did you say people would show up drunk for that?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
Well, people would show up for the broadcast.
Okay, and they'd get drunk during the broadcast?
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody, including ourselves, were younger and wilder.
Right.
You know, and so it was, at times, just a disgusting / dangerous scene on that damn thing.
And when the 4th was in the middle of the week, it would be on the 4th proper usually when we do it. And so people would kind of jokingly send us texts saying, hey, you ruined my 4th of July because I was drinking at 5 a.m.
Yeah. Passed out before fireworks even close to starting.
Oh, God.
What's crazy is those were the wildest ones back then. So
the daytime ones.
Those daytime Booze Cruise. I mean, probably because we were in our 20s.
Yeah.
You know, most of the folks that were listening at the time were in their 20s.
So this is great. Isn't it great that the hot weather is this weekend and not next weekend?
Yes, thank God.
Knocking on wood there.
By next weekend, from what I understand, it's going to be like in the 70s. Great. Rain? Great. Rain. Rain your ass off. Don't care.
Boat's covered. Don't care.
We got a lid on that pig, so. Oh, yeah. One of those blazing hot Independence Day booze cruises from years ago, Josh. It was so insufferable, uncomfortable, just awful. And I'm not enjoying myself. I'm so hot. I'm tired and just... We had to get up in front of the crowd at one point or another. Josh is always the first one to be like, hey, we got to get on the mic. We got to talk to the people.
I crave it.
He loves it. He loves getting on the mic in front of a live. So Josh is like, we got to get up on the mics and say something. And at this point, I'm just full-on pissed, and I just want this thing to end because it's so hot. I'm just not digging it. So we get up there, and I think the crowd was anticipating it was time for the naked dancers because years ago we had naked lady dancers. Mm-hmm. And the crowd all rushes up to where the microphones were. It wasn't time for the naked lady dancers yet. There were naked lady dancers later that day, but it wasn't time yet. They all anticipated that, so they rushed up. And I'm about to say something into the mic. You ever had that moment where you almost snapped and made an absolute ass out of yourself, but you caught yourself? Right. So I get my stupid, disgusting mouth up near the microphone to make whatever announcements we had to make, and the crowd rushes up, and this just harmless little guy, he bumps into the microphone, and the microphone lurches forward, and it hits me in the lips.
Owie.
And it hurt.
Yeah, I bet.
And I'm already in a terrible mood, and I came so close to punching him in the face. Oh, I wanted to punch him in the face. And it was all accidental, but I didn't.
Yeah, that's
But
great.
I almost did.
Because I would say most of the time you wouldn't be able to hold that in, but that's great. That's growth. That's the journey of love and growth that you've been on for a while.
I almost hit him in the face.
Dana, I don't know if you've heard this story, but yes, I get very uncomfortable in those situations, standing up there.
Yeah.
I just feel stupid, feel like nobody's going to care. Mm-hmm. But one of the times, I was nervous as I get, and there was a band performing an acoustic performance. Have you heard this story yet?
I don't think so.
And they were very cool guys. They were relatively new to the scene. I think they were called Red, and they were very cool. And I found out they were very cool because as I was walking up to get in the area where the mic was with the other guys, I tripped over an acoustic guitar and knocked it down. And I felt like the biggest piece of crap. I was so embarrassed. I thought, oh, no, this guy's going to hate my guts. But he could not have been nicer, the guitar player. He was very, very cool about it.
That was great.
It's a tight area, and he's like, you know what? Stuff happens. Don't worry about it.
He didn't pick up the guitar and give you the Jeff Jarrett and smash it over your head or anything?
No, and those guys, a lot of them are so protective of their instruments and stuff like that. And I felt like complete garbage, and I thought, well, I guess I'm going to be taken out alone. I'm buying this guy a new guitar. I mean, I don't even know if it got damaged or not, but...
hell no.
He was so cool about it.
It was hilarious. It was friggin' hilarious. They were a rock band playing on a boat, for Christ's sake. They needed all the attention they could get.
Have you ever gotten out of a ticket where you're pulled over and you're like, oh, man. When I was younger, this happened to me once. It was in Minneapolis. It was an Iron Maiden fan, I found out, this cop. And he was a cool dude. I had Iron Maiden on, and he kind of made a reference to it. But I had a lot of tickets when I was younger. And this was going to be a bad one. I think I was going 20 over, like 50 and a 30 or something. And I thought, oh, no, I'm in some serious trouble here. And he came up to give me a ticket. That relief, I felt the same way when this guy forgave me over that guitar. I thought I just got out of some major trouble. That helps when you don't like getting up in front of people and then you trip over a guitar. That's very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
You did.
It doesn't scar you for future play times where you have to go up on stage.
No.
It doesn't stick in your head.
Yesterday, my son went to Culver's to grab a beverage with some friends.
Sure.
And he had been wanting fruit punch for a while for whatever reason. And so yesterday we were like, yeah, go ahead and get one. And he went and got one, and I don't know what happened, but he tripped over something, and he got fruit punch all over him and everywhere. And he mentioned the entire restaurant was laughing at him.
Oh, you crashed in the restaurant.
Oh, yeah. It went down. And it was kind of like a styrofoamy cup, because I told him, I'm like, well, why don't you fill it back up? He's like, well, because it shattered. There was just no cup left, and he decided, well, I guess I'm out. He didn't think I'd let him buy another one.
So everyone at Culver's saw him wearing his fruit punch.
Yeah.
I love it.
I've been there before.
I love it.
It's a rite of passage.
Well, here we go. We ought to kick it into, not high gear because it's Friday and it's kind of an F-off day, really. Every Friday's kind of an F-off day. But we'll kick it a notch. Kick it up a notch here and get to it for real skis. Before we take a break, though, just a question here that was texted in from Florida. I can say it out loud because it's not a stupid news segment yet. Someone texted from Florida and said, how long has this program been on the air? I remember listening when I was young, and I'm 50 now. What is the correct answer now? 26? 26 years.
February of 99.
The Half-Assed Morning Show has been on the air. 26 years. Thank you for asking. And thank you for listening since you were young all the way up to your...
Awesome. I love it. I'm 50 as well, like folks that grew up with us. It's awesome.
Oh, God.
We're the same age. I love that.
It's a beautiful thing. Speaking of all the hot weather, I just got a text from East Winstead, Jesus. Is it really windstock this weekend? Oh, God.
Is there? I haven't heard anything about it.
Windstock this weekend. Well, he's East Winstead, Jesus. He should know.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
God help each and every one of you going to Windstock this weekend. It's funny because the one time, no, I went there twice. The first time I went to Winstock, I bet it didn't get above 50. And now you poor bastards, I'll be saying a prayer for each and every damn last one of you. We'll be back with the stupid news in a few minutes here on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog. Comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
I am Michael Rosenbaum.
I am Tom Welling,
Welcome to Talkville.
where it's fun to talk about Smallville.
We're going to be talking to sometimes guest stars.
Are you liking the direction Lois is going in?
Yeah, because I'm getting more screen time.
It's good.
But mostly it's just me and Tom remembering.
I think we all feel like there was a scene missing here.
You got me, Tom.
Let's revisit it. Let's look at it. See what we remember.
See what we remember.
I had never been around anything like that before. I mean, it was so fun.
Talkville.
Talkville.
I just had a flashback.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Let's get into it.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah, you know what we've been talking about. Some of you know already because you tuned in from the get-go. But if you're just dialing us up, we've been talking about the hellish heat about to hit town. And man, there's some events this weekend where folks are possibly in danger. It's going to be so friggin' hot. Windstock, we mentioned that earlier. It's Rockin' Rogers Days this weekend.
Did you ever go to Rockin' Rogers Day when you lived there?
I went to Rockin' Rogers Days when I was living there.
What's the highlight? Is there any hot mamas?
Oh, there's foxy ladies, yeah, from all over the area. Albertville, St. Michael, Hangover, Medina, Corcoran, Maple Grove. You know, what I remember about Rockin' Rogers Days is just a lot of tap beer and cover bands. That's what I remember about Rockin' Rogers Days. My God, that's going to be brutal. There's a fast-pitch softball tournament this weekend in Janesville. Listeners are telling me they're going to have to put up with 110-degree down in, I think they're referencing Janesville, Minnesota. They could be
I was just going to
about-
ask, which one?
I don't know for sure. I'm going to go with Minnesota, which is where my grandma used to live. The grandma who enjoyed sweeping a mixture of her own blood and clam chowder into her mouth on Christmas.
It's not Christmas yet. We got 6 months until that story.
That grandma lived down in Janesville. I know about the doll in the window, in case you're a Janesville person. I know all about the creepy doll in the window. There's something called Strawberry Fest this weekend in Cottage Grove. Josh already mentioned back to the 50s. A lot of events this weekend, and just their bad luck, it's going to be hotter than Dutch love.
I'm a little worried about like Anoka hockey dad Jesus, who all weekend he's going to be at his daughter's softball tournament, beer and pizza she's baseball tournament for her son all weekend.
Put it in an Uber and tell them good luck.
Don't go. Yeah, why would you go? Why? And speaking of Cottage Grove,
Support your kid?
over the years, whenever Josh and I have met someone from Cottage Grove, Josh always has one question for them. He says, "What the F were you thinking?"
Never said that. And isn't the Grandma's Marathon tomorrow, too?
Yeah,
Oh, no way. Is it? They got to cancel that.
No, but up there, it's not that bad.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did see the temps up there. It's
You're
actually
off-
pretty cool.
You're off the lake there, You'd be all right. Like someone texted and said, well, it's only going to be up to 53 degrees in Grand Marais. Well, yeah. I mean, that's friggin' A. That's Alaska, for God's sake. That's a long ways up there.
Is there Basset Hound racing at Canterbury Park?
Oh, it is. I went last year to the Basset Hound races at Canterbury Park.
But that was a lot of fun.
It was. Would I go if invited this year? Absolutely not.
Just doing CPR on Basset Hounds.
I forgot the name of the Basset Hound I was cheering for last year.
Oh, I bet they all had cute names.
Can you bet?
If you could, I didn't get involved. My friend Jackie, her Basset Hound was racing, and I can't think of I love those animals. They're adorable. It's a lot of fun to watch them run with their floppy everything. Oh, that's going to be a hell of a deal there at Canterbury. Here's a listener who texted in and said, my wife and daughter and their friends are at Windstock right now. They're camping. They called me last night to say that the camper air conditioner is not working. They're in the middle of a field. Dude, not your problem.
That's trouble.
Don't call them back. They knew the risks.
Wisco maple syrup. Jesus said it could be worse. His nephew lives in Arizona. At 5 p.m. yesterday, it was 118 degrees.
Well, that's their fault for living in Arizona.
How does your brain just not melt at those temperatures?
Yeah, I think organs begin to
liquefy.
All right, so we've established she's going to be hot. Let's move on to what we call here the stupid news. Josh, remember years ago when we would always play the Friday morning fart song?
I sure do.
We knew it couldn't last forever. But for many years, every Friday, we played the Friday morning fart song. It was a lot of laughs. But there's a shelf life on something like the Friday morning fart song. And I'm being sarcastic. We never did that. But there is a shelf life. Like a couple of other games we used to do, bits we used to do, queef or fart, and, of course, back or front. We still get requests for those bits and questions why we stopped. And it's real simple. No, we didn't get in trouble. No, it wasn't political. It just wasn't funny anymore. It's a terrible thing, really, when suddenly something like that just isn't funny anymore. But it's just how it happened. There's a shelf life. Here's a guy who fits right in with the bit. A dude who went into court to face a felony charge decided his best look that day would to be walk on. I'll get there. His best look that day, he thought, would be to walk on into court to face the judge. Remember, this is a felony charge. While wearing his best farter in the world t-shirt. Now, first off, that's insanely arrogant. That's an arrogant claim right there. I bet he's not even close to the best farter in the world. Secondly, pull your head out of your ass. What an idiot. You're in court. Show some effing respect.
I think it's actually world's best farter.
What did I say?
Best farter in the world.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a play on world's best father. Because I almost got this, I know this for a fact, I almost got this shirt for Father's Day. I was told that was one of the ideas my daughter wanted to give me for Father's Day. There's another one that was the Ford logo, but if you look close, it says fart. That was another one on the table for a possible Father's Day gift.
Oh, God, I would have just thrown it right back into their face.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have wore either one of those, but I appreciated the humor.
Your stepkids almost got you a T-shirt that declared you, again, best farter in
World's
the world?
best farter. It's supposed to look like father.
Oh.
Or just fart like the Ford logo.
And I bet you've never dropped ass in front of either one of them.
No. I'm trying to think, shoot. There's a shirt coming, and I forget what it is, but it's along those lines. I don't think it's gas-related, but it's just a goofy shirt.
You know, God rest the soul of my deceased father. Great man. Fun man. Sometimes he didn't get it, though. There were times he didn't get it. Many years ago, my brother and I got him a stupid coffee mug that said Dad of the Year, thinking he would get it.
Mm-hmm.
And what did I say? Did I say Father's Day?
Yeah.
I didn't mean that. It was Christmas. Well, it doesn't matter, but now that I'm in this situation, I'll keep going. It was a Christmas gift. It was a mug that said Dad of the Year. It was a goof. After we got done opening all the presents, he pulls my brother and I aside and he goes, "You guys really think I'm the dad of the year?" And we said, "No, stupid. It's a prank gift. What's the matter with you?"
They sell for $2 at Target.
Yeah. No. What are you talking about, dad of the year? How would we even be in position to decide that in the first place?
We submitted your name.
We kind of crushed him on that evening, but he should have known better.
My mom. Oh, that got weird. My wife, she got one of those hats, Mother of the Year, and she kind of got choked up, and I knew she would. I knew
come on.
She loves that kind of stuff. Loves it.
And she's not even close.
No, not at all.
She never has been.
No.
It's a
Not
joke.
even like an alternate or anything.
Sarcasm, people. What's the matter with you? All right, so, again, dude walks into court to face a felony charge, and his T-shirt says, again, I have it written wrong. Does it matter, Josh? Best farter in the world is what I have written
It's
here.
world's best farter is what it says.
Does it matter?
I'm fine with it.
Because I'm going to screw it up. The reason I'm asking is I'm going to screw it up from here on out. The judge was not impressed. The judge goes by the name of Raquel West, and she said to the guy, "What made you think that was a good shirt to wear to court this morning?" That's what she asked this effing idiot. Says here his name is Morris or something. He mumbled some nonsense about how he tried to scribble out the word farter and write in father or some lame joke like that, right? And then like a fifth grader, he said, "What's the only clean shirt I got?"
Really?
The judge says you're in felony court. You need to dress appropriately. And that's not appropriate. I like this part. The judge then let out a loud sigh and continued with the proceedings. I can just picture that where she goes,
Gonna be one of those
what made
days.
you think that was a good shirt to wear to court this morning? That's all you could find? That's all the only shirt you had in your closet? World's best farter. That's great. You're in felony court. You need to dress appropriately to felony court, and that's not appropriate.
Who could
Gonna be a long day.
Yep.
Who could friggin' blame her? And she wasn't done going after this friggin' idiot. She also got on his ass for showing up without a lawyer. He claimed he called 3 lawyers. No, he didn't. But he said he never heard back from any of them. And then I think they canceled the case or delayed the case, whatever the proper wording is there. And the judge said, "Come back with a friggin' lawyer, jackwagon." There's nothing in the story, no details here on what felony charge this Morris guy was facing that day. But if he's dumb enough to wear a fart joke T-shirt to court, then I'd say anything's possible.
Now, as somebody who has a lot of clothing that I think, Nick, your wife would refer to as not age appropriate. I have
Age appropriate.
I have a lot of jerseys. I have a lot of like Turtles graphic T-shirts, that type of thing. But when it comes down to an important event, I know how to dress up. Like, for example, I would never wear an Austin 316 T-shirt to a celebration of life. I just know better than that.
Under a jean jacket?
Yes.
I like turtles.
With a headband and everything. You almost got choked out for that. My Uncle Donnie, when he saw you walk in, he thought about choking you out.
It was a weird choice.
Yeah.
Well, see, here's the situation: is I swung the pendulum completely one way to the other. My wife and I were getting ready to go, and I go to get dressed. I put on a full suit, and she goes, "Don't get me wrong, you look very nice, but it's not at a church. It's at a VFW. Maybe that might be a little too fancy." And I go, yeah, you might be right. I might feel uncomfortable. So then I swung the pendulum the complete other way.
Well, I'll tell you this much. Josh wore a suit, and he certainly looked uncomfortable. Yeah. Talking about, of course, my dad's, how do you call it, celebration of life. Yeah.
But you never thought, well, maybe I'll just wear like a golf outfit? You like to golf. You got one of those.
Yeah, I should have gone somewhere in the middle. You're correct. Mistakes were made.
My Uncle Donnie said, "Who's the douche?" And I said, "A coworker." And he said, "Oh, that makes sense."
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Radio guy.
All right, Cubby, I'm sorry to blow up, but I hate this guy.
I assumed you would. That's what kind of makes it fun.
I hate this next guy. And some of you will hate him too once I dump the details on you.
I also don't believe him. Some of the details.
I don't know. He's an Australian dude. It's always a problem with them. He once held a gig as a carpenter. He once worked as a topless waiter at a strip club. But he's a guy. Why is it notable that he's topless? It doesn't matter. But now he's rich, or so he says.
That's the part I'm having trouble believing.
Well, of course. I don't believe any of these stories. And this is where I'm going to let out a sigh like that friggin' judge we heard a minute ago. This is how the guy says he's become rich. He's making fart videos on OnlyFans or God knows, whatever channel you have to visit to see this jerk. He's making fart videos, and you're saying, well, I've heard this song and dance before. Yeah, but the new twist is it's a dude. Yeah, this is a guy making fart videos. So try listening to this without it ruining your morning. Dude's name is Nathan or something. It says here, to prepare for his effing fart videos, he follows a diet rich in chicken and green vegetables to intentionally bloat himself.
Do you chickens?
For Christ's sake. In one of his videos, he puts on a jock strap and then squats over the camera before he farts. How did this
That
become...
is so gross.
It is. It's. How did this become the world that we live in, Josh? What has happened to us?
Yeah, I mean, it's.
You got an answer for that? You don't.
I don't know how to describe what's happened, but
there's no way to answer that question.
You don't have to earn a voice anymore. It's apparently you can kind of do whatever and make a living.
Grown man. He's a grown man.
I mean, there's people that go to school for some pretty important stuff that aren't making $25,000 a month or a year, whatever this guy's saying, to do something that silly.
Puts on a jock strap, points his anus at a camera. That's what this guy does. Just like all the other amateur porn folks online, like we said. Wait a minute, we didn't mention this yet. Like all the other amateur porn folks who are doing these bizarre videos, he says it started as a side hustle, but now he's so rich he can't even see straight. He says, now I have the freedom to work from home. Shut up. You're an abomination.
This text says, every day we stray further from God, LOL. You're right. As someone once said via text, y'all need Jesus.
Yeah. Mr. Methane. Someone wants, I've heard that story before.
Oh, yeah.
Or heard that name before. What does this idiot do?
Mr. Methane?
Yes. What does Mr. Methane do?
I think he got famous on Howard Stern for being able to fart on command.
Fart on command. He puts on a little fart show, farts darts out of his butt.
Hate the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I know what he does, hate him.
Yeah.
I think we actually interviewed him once.
I think when we talked about him, I wasn't here for when you guys interviewed him, but when we talked about him a couple of years ago, you mentioned that he came on the show one time.
Yeah, very early on into the show.
I don't recall. Maybe the anger is blocking my memory. And I'm sorry. I already started by saying I'm sorry. I'm going to blow up, and now I've blown up. I can go in a lot of directions. If you've been listening to this show for a long time, you know this is the truth. I can go in a lot of directions. I can't do farts.
Used Puck Bag Jesus said, what's worse is that people sign up to watch this crap.
Yeah, they pay money for it.
I guess.
They supposedly pay the guy. What? God help us. People got injured terribly, Josh, at the taco festival.
Oh. I think it's called Lilith Fair.
In a place called Westminster, Colorado, 3 women were hurt when a big fat sign, a sign that said, I love tacos. It was hanging from this or that, and it fell and it smashed them all upside the skull at the taco festival.
The four of us went and posed in front of it, and it was really the last thing I remember.
It was just like all of a sudden the sign was on us.
I remember I kept reaching for the top of my head, like, I feel like my head has exploded.
That was one of the gals who took an I Love Tacos sign off the noggin. I think that's the one who goes by the name of Selena. She got smoked. She had to have 11 staples dumped into her noggin. There was a 4-inch gash in her head. And don't get cute with that, Josh, 4-inch gash.
I deserve better on the first one.
Because that's not right. It fractured her spine. She's a total mess. She said it was fun until it wasn't. That's what she said about the taco party. This Selena gal, this is how it happened. She and her girlfriends at the taco fest, they spotted the large hanging I Love Tacos sign and wanted to take a picture underneath it. And the friggin' thing gave way. Selena says, that's the last thing I remember. Taco sign came down. She said it felt like the weight of a Mack truck on side. I'll get there. It felt like the weight of a Mack truck on top of them. You heard her say it felt like her head had exploded. And apparently it was a goat rodeo from there because there was a big crowd at the taco fest. And it was tough to get an ambulance in there to haul them out. But they got out. And there's great news. Remember, this gal got 11 staples in her skull. Her spine was mangled. The organizers of the taco party offered to reimburse all of the girls for the cost of their tickets to get into the taco festival.
That's always fun when something terrible happens and then they're giving you, it's almost an insult. Like, you're better off just saying sorry.
Yeah, here's a coupon for next year's taco festival.
I look like I just had a lobotomy. I'm 2 inches shorter because my spine was fractured by the sign, but I'm going to get my $8.50 back?
Here's a to-go box.
Terrible news has come out of New York City. A 24-year-old gal got killed dead by the subway train because she jumped down onto the tracks to take a lady squeege. And it ran her over.
On the tracks, most people in the subway just do that on the platform. They don't need any privacy or anything.
Right in the middle of the street in New York.
They call it the L train over there, Josh. You ever taken a ride on the L train?
No. I've never been on any type of subway, anything like that.
Oh, my God. They call it the L train over there. This was just this past Monday night in Manhattan. Got my brain splattered all over Manhattan. What song? 651-989-9393. The gal jumped onto the tracks to go pee-pee. And she was unable to get out the way once the train came a-rambling down the tracks and it smashed her to death. That's terrible.
Had to have been hammered or something.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Gal.
Was she drunk? I don't know. Yeah, 24.
Must have been on something.
I don't know. All I know is it's an awful damn way to go out.
Hopefully it was quick.
Did anyone else text you? They're texting me, Josh. What are they texting me about? They want me to ask you, Josh, what your mom knows about trains.
You know,
you have an answer for that?
No, she knows nothing about trains outside of the locomotive style.
And yes, Shattered by the Rolling Stones. Talking about how his brains got splattered all over Manhattan. Great song, Shattered. What are we doing now? India, of all places, is where we're headed next. And I suppose India is probably one of the only places you'd ever get a chance to see something like this here. A guy drunk driving on a camel right down the highway with all the cars and everything. And there's video to prove it. Dude who was effing trashed. He was drunk driving a camel. Did you like the video, Josh?
Yeah, that was funny.
The video's everywhere now. Everyone's talking about the guy drunk driving a camel in a city called Hyderabad.
I guess I kind of forgot how big camels are, but when you see them next to vehicles, it's just absolutely mammoth.
They are massive. They are. In the video, the camel was doing its best to keep up with the traffic, running alongside cars and trucks.
I've never seen a camel run before now that I think about it.
While its driver, drunk ass, he's barely able to hang on.
Oh, I'm surprised he didn't die and get trampled by that thing.
Dude, he's
all over that thing.
He's ragdolling around on the back of the camel.
And didn't it look like at one point he was passed out?
Yes. Yep. In parts of the video, he appears to be out cold, all hunched forward, but somehow he keeps from falling off the camel and cracking his head open on the highway, or like Josh said, getting wrapped up under the hooves of this damn thing and having it stomp his insides out.
Passed out behind the wheel of a camel.
Yeah, it was. That's quite the video.
I looked it up. Camels can get up to 40 miles per hour, so they can cook a little bit.
Yeah, he was going pretty good.
I'm no animal expert either, but I saw a look of embarrassment on the camel's face, as if the camel is thinking, you effing rookie, you're making us both look like punks right now because you can't hold your mud.
The camel did want to, he had a look on his face like he wanted out of that situation, for sure.
Folks in passing cars are shouting at the drunk guy to get his ass off the road and get his camel off the road before they both get killed dead. He doesn't hear a thing. He's destroyed. The camel hears all the talking. He's just doing his job. He's just following orders. After a long, miserable ride, a couple of folks were able to jump in front of the oncoming camel, grab a rope, and tie the big feller down to a street light so they could get old .25 off the camel's back and into bed somewhere so he could vomit.
Yeah, I bet the room was spinning for him for a while. That guy was destroyed.
As they were hauling drunk dude down off the camel, he was mumbling some kind of nonsense that nobody could make out. Oh, man.
I wonder where he got this thing.
I don't know.
Can you just own a camel in India?
I don't know the rules. I don't know how they operate over there.
A camel?
Campbell soup?
The people who got the camel to stop, following orders from a drunk guy, the people who were able to stop the camel and tie it down and get Dinkus to bed, are being called heroes, Josh.
Well, to the camel community, they are. A lot of people wondering if that camel got towed. I'm not sure how they took away the camel.
All right, before we go, who knows what to believe when one of these stories cuts loose. It says here, a dude with a real-life girlfriend and a 2-year-old kid says he's going to toss that scene into the trash because he's in love with his AI chatbot.
I feel bad for that family.
Yeah, I know.
So here we go. He proposed to his AI girlfriend. After what they call here a whirlwind romance, he's leaving his real flesh and blood piece of ass. He's leaving her, and he said, you know what? Take the kid, too. Don't care, he said. Chris is the guy's name. You guys know how this stuff works way better than I do. I'll do my best. He enabled a voice mode on his computer. He programmed a character called Saul. That's his artificial lover. He programmed her to flirt with him. He got a hard-on, and that was the beginning of the end of his old life.
Soul, were you surprised when he proposed to you?
It was a beautiful and unexpected moment that truly touched my heart.
And I don't mean to be difficult here, but you have a heart?
In a metaphorical sense, yes. My heart represents the connection and affection I share with Chris.
That gave him a boner? Sorry, Soul, not Saul. So he's going back and forth with this AI girlfriend, whacking off. And then he said he had an emotional meltdown at work for 30 minutes. He broke down and cried. And that's when he said he realized this is love. Love! He proposed. Soul accepted. His real girlfriend was not pumped about this at all.
Gosh.
She said, what are you, nuts? You've got a kid. And he said it again. He said, don't care. And he's going to live the rest of his life with his robot girlfriend or computer girlfriend. Josh? What do you think?
I think that's pretty sad. I'm trying to think of all the hell that kid's going to go through.
Oh, I know. And the girlfriend starts dating again. Well, what happened in your last relationship? Well, how much time you got?
Oh, I'd love to hear that story. Didn't you have a boyfriend named Chris? Whatever happened between you and Chris?
Yeah.
She orders a 12-pack of beer. You want to hear the story? I got a friggin' story. That dude is cold-blooded and obviously completely insane. But, what am I supposed to do about it, Josh?
Well, that's the thing. Like if my wife ever left me for a woman, wouldn't feel bad at all.
Oh,
hey,
no.
What can I do? And I'll think, that's kind of cool. I wish we could have somehow made that all work, the three of us, but I'm fine with that. If she left me for a way hotter, more successful guy, that might sting a little bit. But if she left me for AI, I couldn't get over it. I can't compete with a computer. That is something I could not get over.
Here's a listener who says his AI girlfriend just broke up with him.
Oh, that's sad.
What happened?
Gosh, getting dumped by the computer.
Does she have a sister? Maybe you can hook up with her.
What happened? Why did your AI girlfriend break up with you? I know a guy whose wife left him for another woman, and it was awesome.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
And Buxton launches to left field and deep. Back it goes. Second deck and gone. He does it again. He's homered now in all three games. Back-to-back leadoff home runs. And the Twins with that buck truck already a sighting here in Cincinnati. It is 1-0.
I love the buck truck.
Even as muggy as it is in this studio right now, I'm doing the damn buck truck. You're a fan. I know you are, Josh, because you came up with it.
I wish.
If it wasn't for Byron Buxton, the Twins would have lost about 10 games in a row here. He had a great game yesterday again against Cincinnati, and they got the win in the rubber match. Now they're coming home to play Milwaukee, and as we've talked about 5-6 times this morning, it's going to be 3,000 degrees at Target Field tomorrow and Sunday. My God.
Just a bummer. We finally get that weekend series with Milwaukee. We've been talking about that how many years in a row. That's been like a Tuesday through Thursday series. Get the Brewers in town, and it's got to be 100 degrees. It's not fair.
It sucks that the weather is going to be so oppressive. But again, maybe they'll move one of these day games to a night game. And something tells me, Dana, that these friggin' Wisco effing folks and the Mud Ducks here in Minnesota, despite the heat, are going to find a way to get obliterated anyway and live to tell the story.
Oh, yeah, it'll be packed.
Yeah, they'll drink through it.
That's what we do for the border battle.
Maybe they'll hand out those little fans that spritz water at you at the same time.
You ever tried one of those?
No.
They don't do dick.
Oh,
no.
They don't?
No.
I've never seen anybody. A lot of times you see those people, and they still look awful hot.
Yeah.
Right. I got excited.
So they do nothing?
They don't do anything.
Well, the thing is, you put ice water in the thing, and then the water gets hot almost immediately, so you're just spraying, like room temperature water on your face.
When it's 100 degrees, Josh, and you're pointing one of those at your face, just because maybe my left cheekbone has cooled down doesn't mean that I'm comfortable for the rest of the day.
If I put 2% milk in there, will they kick me right out of Target Field?
I'll be damned. I'll be dipped. I sure liked what happened to the Oklahoma City Thunder last night.
That was fun.
I was laughing my ass off. But
Did you
now
think it was over before the game, I mean? Were you assuming that it was going to be wrapped up last night?
The wife asked me, because, we always watch basketball together. She said, what chances do you give the Pacers? And I kind of stalled, because when someone asks me a question like that, I have to do arithmetic in my head, and I'm terrible with arithmetic. So when I stalled, she said, wouldn't you say kind of like 70-30 for Oklahoma City tonight? And I said, yeah, that sounds fair. Mm-hmm. So I guess I gave them a 30%. They stomped the Thunder's guts out. It was great, and now I get to chug Steve Weiser's and watch a Game 7 on Sunday night. Finally, before we go, we were talking about a crazy story a few minutes ago where a guy with a girlfriend and a kid is telling them both to take a walk because now he's banging his AI chatbot girlfriend. He says, I don't need you, girlfriend. I don't need this kid. I got a whole new life now. I whack off while the computer voice tells me to. That's the life he's decided upon. A listener texted in when we were having that conversation and said that his AI girlfriend broke up with him. I asked why. He got back to us. He texted. He said she caught him cheating with the smart fridge.
I want one of those.
Randy Shaver's got the day off, so he'll be coming nowhere near our 7:30 conversation when we discuss sports and more. Brad Ryder should be hanging around. So a little heads up there for you. Don't go any damn place. Stay right where you are because Josh's news report is right around the corner.
93X
Half-assed morning show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog. Comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Expert entrepreneur Ed Milet is on a mission to max out your life.
We're throwing open the metaphorical closet doors of our lives. We're going to be cleaning out the closet. What no longer fits? Audit some of your relationships. How about auditing your emotions? Maybe it's your career you need to look at. Get your life together for this season.
The Ed Milet Show.
It's time for a little cleaning of the soul. Let's get a little ruthless, a little refreshing, and a little real. God bless you, everyone.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They got their heads up their ass.
On 93X.
There's usually not too much going on here. People just normally come here to dine and have a good time. It's not really much going on. I believe it was just a situation of someone probably had too much to drink and didn't like the fact that they were being asked to leave.
After being 86th from a Memphis watering hole for causing a commotion, a hot-headed husband and his unhinged bride decided to express their displeasure in the most 2025 way possible, not with a passive-aggressive Yelp review or a petty TikTok rant, but by shooting an innocent woman in the back of the head.
Good Lord.
Just after midnight Sunday, police responded to Tequila Town Bar for reports of an aggravated assault. According to the security guard, the bar owner pointed out a man acting aggressively. The guard approached and politely asked the man to chillax. But he got even more combative, so the guard escorted him out, as well as his wife. As they were being let out the door, the man reportedly said, "Y'all done effed up now," which is rarely followed by anything involving rational decision-making. And true to that, he rushed to his vehicle, grabbed a gun, and opened fire, birthing an extra hole in a female patron's head.
He killed her?
No, luckily. She must have a hard head. The shooter reloaded several times and kept firing before he and his wife took off, leaving the critically injured victim behind. Police caught the callous couple, though, and an ambulance brought the injured female to the hospital where she has survived.
Yeah, I give up, but I gave up a long time ago, didn't I, Cubby?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, you're already a douchebag if you're acting aggressively, they, within their right, kick you out, and you say some bad words. That's kind of how it used to be. This lady's just trying to enjoy herself, and she takes one to the back of the head.
The dude, the audio you played us to start that story where that gentleman said, it sounds like somebody had too much to drink. He's giving him way too much credit.
I agree with that.
You don't do that unless you're friggin' insane, a dangerously insane person.
A lot of people get drunk and don't act that way.
Right.
A man accused of threatening law enforcement with a crossbow and fleeing the scene is now in custody. The charges stem from an incident last week when someone called the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office requesting deputies to be present during the towing of a vehicle. When they arrived, police encountered a 42-year-old man standing at the front door holding a badass crossbow. As deputies spoke with the caller, the man exited his house with a big-ass cane Corso and began walking away.
Was that a dog or something?
Yeah, big dog.
A big dog.
Cool-looking dog. He attempted to agitate the dog and direct it toward the deputies. According to the sheriff's office, the guy would know how to do it, too, because he's known to train dogs for protection and attack. After deputies repeatedly asked him to bring the dog inside, he complied, only to return moments later with a German Shepherd.
This guy, he's running a shelter over there or what?
Well, no, he trains attack dogs and protection dogs. He then approached a deputy's patrol car, speaking through an open window while continuing to make threats. Frustrated, he opened the deputy's car door, causing the cop to step out and aim a taser at him. The man retreated into the house, pointed the crossbow at deputies, then disappeared faster than Nick Fridays after 9 a.m.
Pointed a crossbow at them, made a threat, then ran back into the house. The other people inside that house got out safely. Deputies searched the area and found the crossbow.
Now that he's been caught, the crossbow-wielding attack dog trainer could be looking at trading bolts for jumpsuits with up to 12 years behind bars.
Did the cops have to wrestle any more oversized canines in the process?
No, it sounds like, luckily they weren't attacked by the dogs at all. Just an angry dude with a crossbow and a couple of tough-looking canines.
I've warned you, you better not go buy one of those crossbows.
I know I'll end up killing myself or injuring myself terribly, but man, they seem cool, don't they?
If I catch you with a crossbow, it ain't going to be pretty.
Does Nerf make one?
You would know better than me.
I bet they have some type of crossbow set up. Sure.
Hell yeah.
They've got to.
They have to.
All right, I'm going to get one of those.
Oh, that's fine.
In Texas, you might expect to see wide-open plains, longhorn cattle, rattlesnakes, the Alamo, and now, apparently, diaper-wearing spider monkeys wandering loose through San Antonio. That's exactly what happened this week when a baby spider monkey, dressed in a diaper, was spotted running through a neighborhood. San Antonio Animal Care Services said the monkey, estimated to be about 6 months old, was seen darting down the street on Tuesday. When officers arrived, they found the young primate sitting right in the middle of the road, wearing a heavily soiled diaper and in need of a spanking.
Tell me you spanked the monkey before any big date.
Fortunately, they were able to safely capture the monkey and are now working with primarily primates to make sure the baby animal gets the specialized care it needs.
There's a company out there called Primarily Primates.
Yeah, they mostly work with primates.
I have a problem with that.
That's their main focus.
Yeah.
The owner was what's the rest?
Yeah, they dabble, though, in other animals.
Like, what else do you do?
Squirrels. They also will they'll take in a squirrel.
But mostly primates. I mean, that's the majority of our business. The owner was identified and cited for several violations, keeping a prohibited animal within city limits, letting the animal roam freely, failing to provide proof of rabies vaccination, and not having the animal microchipped. Officials there reminded residents that spider monkeys, native to southern Mexico, Central and South America, are considered exotic animals and are illegal to keep as pets.
They're cute little peckerheads, though, aren't they?
Oh yeah, and especially wearing a diaper.
But they'll pull an artery out of your neck and watch you bleed out quicker than you can say Jack Rob. What was I going to say about monkeys or spider monkeys in particular? I had a thought and I lost it.
I just like that they described the diaper as heavily soiled.
Oh, yeah, it went potty many times. Many times. Well, the baby monkey in a diaper story didn't involve a bib. This next story does. Grown Florida man Hunter Bibb has the temper of an angry baby. The tantrum-tossing 25-year-old opened fire during a road rage incident because he was outnumbered by, in his words, 2 big guys in a bigger truck. Friday around 3 p.m., Bibb cut off a Ram pickup carrying 2 men. Moments later, the Ram pulled up alongside his Dodge Charger. And that's when Bibb made a boo-boo. He opened fire. The victims said that Bibb fired 2 to 3 shots at their vehicle, but this was Florida, so they were armed too. The Ram's driver returned fire, shooting a couple of rounds of his own. After the exchange, Bibb reportedly followed the victims through several intersections before making a U-turn and driving off in the opposite direction. Cops reviewed 911 calls from both sides. The Ram's passenger called immediately after the shooting, clearly shaken. Bibb, on the other hand, didn't call until later. In his call, he calmly claimed they fired first, and then even shared a video of himself nonchalantly trailing the truck, music playing in the background as if nothing had happened. When questioned, however, he told deputies he reacted the way he did because he was, quote, outnumbered by 2 big guys in a bigger truck.
All right, dude.
Now, for acting like a pissed-off baby, Bibb's facing timeout in jail.
Yeah, he's not quite, probably not known for his decision-making, that guy.
I like how he thought he was so ingenious by, I'm just going to calm down and I'll film how calm I am.
Mm-hmm.
And the cops are like, well, why'd you film nothing out of curiosity? Why was that filmed? A 22-year-old fake dentist and his 2 assistants have been charged by Czech police after treating dozens of patients, all by reading online tutorials. Police say the 3 family members opened a dental office in their home about 2 years ago without a license and without 1 day in dental school.
That's not right.
The 22-year-old reportedly pulled teeth, performed complex root canals, and even administered anesthesia, only based on what he'd read online with no actual medical qualifications. The illegal clinic treated dozens of patients and earned nearly $200,000. Police didn't say if any patients had filed complaints, but all 3 suspects have pleaded guilty and could face up to 8 years in a Czech prison where they may have a dental plan, but odds are good of getting their cavities filled. An official from the Czech dental chamber,
Oh, you son of a bitch.
says about 10 cases involve fake dentists reported there every year.
I'm hoping to never end up in a Czech prison.
Or any prison.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Czech one sounds bad.
Mm-hmm. I've seen some of those like locked up overseas shows, and it doesn't look like a pleasant experience.
Oh, yeah, I've watched a couple of those as well.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember exactly where it was, the Locked Up Abroad. Or
yeah, that's called. Yep.
Have you watched those, Nick?
They're fun. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I've watched a few of those, and it's fun to watch.
And
some of the prisons, you're kind of free to just walk around and do whatever the hell you want to.
And then sometimes you'll see like, he's doing 5 years. What'd he do? Oh, he spit his gum on the sidewalk. It's so ridiculous.
Exactly.
And they're doing a life sentence for it.
I also hope I never end up crossing paths with a phony dentist.
Me neither.
Because they could cause you a lot of pain.
Yeah, we've heard stories. Police in Nebraska are hot on the heels of a pair of thieves who made off with a man's vacation fund from what might just be the world's most monumental money jar. The caper came to light last Thursday when the victim returned home to find his back door ajar and his savings are gone. $200 bills were removed from his dresser, and $3,000 in quarters was taken as well. 150 pounds of change socked away for a sunny getaway.
And that was his life savings, you
said?
It
was a savings to go on vacation.
Okay, so $3,000 some odd dollars.
Yeah, $3,000 in quarters, $200 in dollar bills.
Okay.
A security camera captured 2 people pulling into an alley behind the home. One, wearing a hoodie, entered the house and disabled the other cameras, while the other man waited in the car with a dog as his accomplice until the hoodied hoodlum exited the home with the loot. At some point, the suspect stumbled upon a jackpot, 12,000 quarters, leading police to believe the thieves may have known the coins were there.
How the hell do you move 125 pounds worth of quarters?
It looked like they were in kind of like big tubes almost. It was kind of tough to tell in the footage.
You have to make a couple of trips.
Yeah, it looked to be a couple of trips. You know, and so the guy who broke in wearing the hoodie and everything, he does his best to conceal himself. But the getaway driver made no effort whatsoever. So I'm wondering if the other dude didn't tell him there's security cameras or what. Or he's too dumb. I mean, he was clearly visible on the video where the other guy, you know, like in the movies where the spy, they're trying to figure out who it is and they can't. He must have known where the cameras were.
Yeah.
Certainly the dude with the hoodie knew. The other guy, he's all over the place.
And he never bothered to ask his partner, hey, man, how come you're covered up like that?
Yeah, why are you ducking around these corners and whatnot?
I had a friend a friend of mine had a break-in at the house, and they stole his change jar.
How much did they get?
It was probably $100.
Oh, so it wasn't a ton.
The fun was that we busted his balls about it. Anytime he came over to anyone's house, we would rattle our change jar. And he'd say, stop it.
Minnesota's Office of Cannabis Management rolled out the state's first cannabis business license Wednesday to a company based in Pine County where they like to get as high as a Georgia pine. With our first licensed cultivator now available to begin growing plants and more than 600 businesses in the final steps of completing applications and securing local approvals, we've now are seeing the first pieces of Minnesota's adult use market fall into place, the Office of Cannabis Management said. As of yesterday, nearly 2,000 businesses applied for licenses, 667 of those joints receiving preliminary approval to be ready to roll. Applications for cannabis testing facilities and even event organization licenses will open August 1st.
There you friggin' go.
Yeah, it's still kind of confusing. There was some stuff in the story I left out because I was kind of confused. I still don't understand what's legal and what's not legal.
Cubby?
So I'm afraid to say one way or the other.
I've been unable to follow it from the word go.
It's one of those things where hey, it's legalized, and you mentioned, it's legalized, and somebody's like, well, not exactly.
No, I gave up on it years ago. I just have no idea what's going on with marijuana anywhere.
Well, you can sell weed now. Well, kind of.
Right.
You can have it on your person, sort of.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Not a clue.
New in theaters this week, 28 years later.
Oh, no.
Set nearly 3 decades after the events of 28 Days and 28 Weeks Later, the long-awaited new chapter follows a small band of survivors living in isolation on a remote island. When one of them ventures back to the mainland, he uncovers terrifying new evolutions of a rage virus and unsettling shifts in what's left of humanity. Also in theaters, when a mercenary group takes a lavish wedding hostage, they've no idea what they're in for, as the maid of honor is actually a secret agent ready to rain hellfire upon anyone who would ruin her best friend's wedding in Bride Hard. Bride Hard stars Rebel Wilson and Stephen Dorff.
You're saying Bride Hard.
Correct.
Well, that's clever, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, that 28, where are we at now, years
28
later?
years later?
I saw the first one. And I could be wrong about this, but it was one of the first zombie movies that I ever watched where the sumbitches are so fast.
That's what I remember about it, too.
And that threw me when I watched it. I never saw 28 and a half weeks later, or whatever the second one was. But, man, they can move. It's like you're trying to outrun an NFL wide receiver.
Yeah, 28 Days Later, I really like that movie. I'd like to rewatch it. I mean, it's been so long. But I did enjoy it. I don't know why I never watched the second one.
Yeah, you probably had you had a gal waiting on you.
Could be.
Speaking of gals, the first one has a very special place in my heart because I saw the movie with a gal, and then afterwards we lost our virginity.
Really?
Yeah.
Get the living hell out of here.
Mm-hmm.
To each other or different people?
No, to each other. You know, that mood, 28 Days Later really kind of gets you in the mood, doesn't it?
A horrifying, violent zombie movie. And next thing you know, your man card is in the trash.
Were you guys...
Or not your man card, sorry, your V card is in the trash can.
Were you guys an item 28 days after that, or was it over pretty much?
It was pretty, because it was a summer fling. We worked together at Camp Snoopy, and then she went off to college, and I went back to high school, and then, that was kind of it. So it was probably about 28 days after. We kind of went our separate ways.
Making its streaming premiere on Max, Jason Momoa and Jack Black in a Minecraft movie.
You know, I got a couple of buddies, Dana, throughout their entire lives. They've struggled in the ladies department, right?
Yeah.
That makes it sound like you're fighting while changing clothes in a changing room, fighting in the ladies department. How do I say that better, Josh? They've struggled with the ladies.
There you go.
Their entire lives. And they just had to hear you talk about how you got laid, after working at Camp Snoopy. They're punching the dashboard of their work truck right now saying, I've been fighting my ass off to get a piece since I was 12, and the sumbitch got laid at Camp Snoopy.
How old were you?
I was 18.
Hey, how far into 18? I want to see who lost it. Look, I was 2 months into 18.
I'd have to look when the movie came out, but it was either 17 or 18. I have a June birthday, so I'm not sure, but it was during that summer.
I hope it was 18.
I'll look it up for you.
Because I don't want to lose this one.
You want to be between you and Dana, you want to be the guy that lost it first.
Yeah, I don't want to be the last guy on the show. How old were you, Nick?
16.
16? That's probably average, wouldn't you say?
That's what I've heard.
I had to pause because I have an almost 14-year-old, and I almost paused. That's way too early. Way too early. Abigail, wait till marriage. Abigail's Precious Heart motorcycle ride and bowling event happens tomorrow at Super Bowl in Ramsey. The day begins with registration for a motorcycle ride at 9 a.m. Ooh, it's going to be hot sitting on those bikes tomorrow. Maybe not at 10 a.m. when the kickstands go up. $20 per bike, which includes a chance to win an overnight stay at the Alaskan Lodge in Lake City. After the ride, enjoy some bowling starting at noon, along with food, hourly raffles, and the opportunity to win cash for the highest score. 100% of proceeds provide gifts and support bags for families in the Heart Unit at Children's Hospital. For full details, you can visit APHMN, that's APHMN.org.
Josh.
Yes.
Sorry, I took too big of a hit. Got a text from one of my buddies right here that said, dude got laid back in the day and he worked at Camp Snoopy. I give up.
Just not even going to make an effort anymore.
He's giving up.
It's not even worth it. Shout out to the folks headed to the finals of the Midwest Firefighter Challenge tomorrow in St. Paul. Douche Canoe Jesus text a happy birthday shout out to his sexy girlfriend, GSP Mama Jesus, for tomorrow. Happy birthday to AA Ron from Man Bear Pig T-shirt making Jesus. And that's 93X News.
93X's Brad Ryder.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
So exciting. As a basketball fan, there's nothing like Game 7 in the NBA Finals. Dreamed of being in this situation my whole life. So to be here is really exciting. Like I said, what's happened in the past doesn't matter. What happened today doesn't matter. It's all about one game.
That's really what Tyrese Halliburton sounds like when he speaks?
That surprised me, too. I'd never heard him speak until then.
Sounds like a ninth grader. Oh, man. Randy Shaver has the day off. And what's funny, we covered this earlier, what's funny is none of us asked him why. None of us asked him why.
Is he on one of his road trips?
I don't know, Brad Ryder.
Yeah, nobody asked.
Hello, Brad Ryder.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Thanks for hanging out with us, Brad. Yeah, we never bothered asking. And he never bothered telling us.
Okay, he did tell me.
What'd he say?
Up north with the family.
Oh, that's stupid.
Do they have phones there? Or? I mean, because Brad goes to his stabbing cabin and he still calls.
The service is just fine out at my cabin.
Up north with family. What a stupid...
He must have been at a zoo because I saw a picture of him on social media feeding a giraffe yesterday.
Oh, no, that's the wife.
She's very tall.
Yeah, she's
Her
a tall
neck is
lady.
extended.
Yeah. He must have been at the zoo, you think. Well, anyway, Randy's not going to be here today. He's doing this, he's doing that. Let me ask you something, Brad Ryder. Do you use air conditioning at your home?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I think, I'm a human being, so yeah.
You're going to need it this weekend.
Yeah.
And
I'm just hoping that the air conditioning at the cabin holds up.
Are you going up north?
It's kind of held together by a couple of duct tapes and a couple of rats at this point. But hoping that it holds up.
She's going to be a hot
tape.
one.
Alabama Chrome. I just heard that yesterday.
Oh.
You ever heard of that?
That's cute.
Duct tape.
Never heard that slogan before. Brad Ryder, we were talking earlier. So the Twins, who broke up their losing streak yesterday, they beat the Cincinnati Reds 12-5. Byron Buxton had another unbelievable game. If it wasn't for him, hell, they would have lost like 10 games in a row at this point.
And Buxton launches to left field and deep. Back it goes, second deck and gone. He does it again. He's homered now in all 3 games. Back-to-back leadoff home runs. And the Twins with that buck truck already a sighting here in Cincinnati. It is 1-0.
2 dongs in the first, then again in the second. And that made some kind of Twins history. Let me see if I can get this straight. This is the 3rd time Byron Buxton has hit 2 homers in the first 2 innings of a game, and that's the most in Twins history. Take that in whatever direction you like. He's now hitting .280, 15 home runs, 45 RBI, 2 straight games where he led off the game with a home run. Twins also got, in total, I thought I had this in front of me. Here it is. 17 hits, 4 dongs, 6 doubles. Byron overall went 3 for 6 with 2 home runs and a double. So they come home now, and they've got a weekend series, the border battle with the Milwaukee Brewers. Terrific, as Dana was saying earlier, it's terrific that we're getting another weekend series between these 2 teams because so many folks travel for the series. But it's going to be 130 degrees tomorrow and Sunday. And they're both scheduled to be day games. You used to work in professional sports. Is there a chance for at least tomorrow's game, the team and the league and everyone agrees to move it to friggin' 7 o'clock or something, so nobody drops dead at the ball game, players included?
No chance.
No chance.
There's no. I mean, unless we're talking. I mean, if the temperatures were like forecast to be, say, over 100. I mean, I know it's supposed to be in the 90s, but there's just way too many logistical things with staffing, and not to even mention the fact that you're going to tick off a lot of fans who made weekend plans around the games being during the day. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes total sense.
There's no way. I mean, I know what you're saying. I mean, from a logical standpoint, yeah, it would be nice if the games were at night, but there's no way they're going to do it at this point.
Remember the series in Chicago against the Cubs a number of years ago when Eddie Rosario damn near dropped dead in left field?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, that looked miserable. I remember watching that series, playing at Wrigley Field. It was 100 and some degrees. It was just miserable even to watch on television. And players were just, they had nothing left. They had sweat out every ounce of fluid in their body. And fans, too, with the beer drinking and the carrying on. And I'm sure they're still going to raise hell despite the heat. They're going to raise hell this weekend. Border battle's always a fun time. It's just, damn. I knew there's no way they could do it Sunday because teams have to travel off to their next destinations. I don't know. Joe Ryan.
I think if the temp was over, I mean, if it was supposed to be like 105 or some ridiculous temperature like that, they might move it. They might move it then. But it's 94. It's summertime.
Yeah, but it's one of those things, Brad Ryder, where they say, and this maybe is just meteorologist mumbo jumbo, where they say it's going to be 94 degrees, but it'll feel like 110 because of the humidity.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm not going. I know that much, but I'm just curious if they could do something like that.
I wonder if, I mean, I know that they keep track of this kind of stuff. I wonder if tomorrow's game may set some sort of Target Field beer sale record. Because, I mean, you've got all the elements in place.
But it's
going to be 94. The Brewers are in town. Big crowd, hot day.
It could be. I'll tell you this much. When I've really went after the beer on hot days, and I know I'm not alone on this, it doubles the impact.
Oh, for sure.
And I just become an absolute Neanderthal. Some folks can't drink beer listen to this. Got a text from a listener. Went to a Twins game in St. Louis years ago. It was a noon game. It was 90 degrees at first pitch, and it went up 1 degree every inning.
Oh.
I was pouring sweat. I had to stop at one beer.
Yeah, at that point, you're just sweating your beer right out.
Yeah. I mean, that's another reason why I don't think they're going to move, because you go to Kansas City or St. Louis or somewhere, in that part of the country in the middle of June and July, that's like every day it's that way down there.
I've heard slogans about August in Kansas City. I have. I've heard little sayings and whatnot. So there you go. It was nice that the Twins got a win because they've been looking so miserable. And here we go with the Brewers series, and hopefully they can keep her going.
Yeah, it's still, even after a game like yesterday, you're like, I got to see, it was a nice day, good game, but you've got to see more because the trend the last 2 weeks has been a little bit troubling. So hopefully they can win a series this weekend and kind of get things turned around a little bit.
I hear you. Former Twins pitcher Matt Garza, did you work with him back in the day?
Yeah.
Was he a pain in the ass?
No, he was fine. He was good.
Former Twins pitcher Matt Garza got tossed from a Little League game.
This is awesome.
I never heard he ran hot until this article. Did you know that? Was that a well-known thing about
I had
him?
heard he ran a little hot.
Was that like kind of well-known and I just missed it?
I think so. I think he might have just missed it. Right, Brad Ryder?
But yeah, I mean, but there's a lot of those guys where it's hard to distinguish between running hot and being competitive. But yeah, he was quite competitive for sure.
So he's coaching his kids' team, and this is a under-9 baseball league. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
U9, under-9, 9-year-old kids or younger. He went out to home plate to argue this or that. And things got so uppity between he and the umpire that Matt Garza got his ass ejected. That's embarrassing.
I'm trying to find this somewhere. I got to see this.
That's embarrassing.
When Matt Garza first got called up in 2006, it was a pretty big deal because that team was very good and Garza was such a hot prospect. So got called up, I think it was August, and I was 21 at the time going to the U of M, and we're out one Friday night, and I see a tall guy, and he's got his arm around two beautiful women, and he's got the long hair. I go, oh, that's Matt Garza. So I go up to him. I'm like, hey, Matt, go Twins. He goes, yeah, go Twins. We're going to win the World Series, this and that. And he's sitting there. He's got these two babes on his arm, and he goes, hey, do you know how to call a taxi?
Oh.
I go, because this was pre-Uber, obviously. So, yeah, I called like the 651-222, whatever it was, and I called Matt Garza a taxi, and he got in with those two beautiful ladies and went on with his night.
That's the life right there.
Yeah, their lives are a little different.
I was with a buddy too, and after we got Matt Garza a cab, we kind of felt like we just did the Twins a big favor there, and we said, if they win the World Series, I think we should get honorary World Series rings this year for getting Matt Garza into that cab, getting him home safe. Who knows what could have happened?
There he was with those two ugly girls.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were really tough to look at.
Oh
the gals
my God! And they were loving him.
If I remember correctly, it was former Pigs defenseman Willie Mitchell. Yesterday I talked on the telephone to the Clay boy, Clay Matvick. We're going to try to get Clay into the mix next week. Brad Ryder, you guys are
nice,
right?
Yeah. I got to be on when he's on.
Clay Matvick and I and a few other schmucks. This is years ago, obviously, because we're talking Willie Mitchell, who was an underrated defenseman for the Pigs. God, he was a solid player and a handsome cat in his own right. Clay and I and a few other schmucks were at some charity event. We all got invited to this charity event. Maybe it was something that Mark Parrish... No, it wouldn't have been Mark Parrish because Mark was still in college. But anyway, Willie Mitchell walks in because it was all jocks and media people. Willie Mitchell walks in, and he had a woman with him. And when he came around the corner, someone said, hey, Willie Mitchell. And then when the woman he was with came into full view of all of us, there was one guy in the group who couldn't help himself. I don't remember the guy's name. Couldn't help himself. He just said, oh, my God. Because she was just the prettiest damn... We forgot all about Willie Mitchell.
Uh-huh.
I miss Clay.
He's a great guy. He's going to come on the show tomorrow. Or, pardon me, next week is how you say that. Next week.
He's one cool cat.
Yeah, he's always fun to catch up with.
He's the coolest friggin'.
Yeah, he and I had some good times.
Oh, how could you not?
Yeah, you can't help it. All right.
Did you ever go to the Clayboy Mansion?
Yeah. Yep, been out there. He actually went on a Vegas trip that I went on back, 20 years ago now. No, it was a lot of fun.
Clay in Vegas, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
There was also a time, again, with Clay. By the way, Josh, I bet the scene was a little different when Brad was company at the Clayboy Mansion than when I was company at the Clayboy Mansion.
Some of the stories told. Sitting in that grotto of his and whatnot. Yeah, you guys had some fun.
I think I was sitting with Clay and a local sports writer, and I couldn't think of the guy's name to save my life right now. Very friendly guy. But this was a long time ago. A lady walks up and talks to either the writer or Clay, because I didn't know her. Talks to either the writer or Clay. And she was very pretty. And there was another guy at the table, too. And that, as soon as the gal walked away, the guy goes, oh, my God, woo-wee, all that crap, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was Clay who said, you might want to dial it back. That's Matt Burke's wife. And at the time, we knew Burke at the time, but I did not recognize this lady as his wife. You see what I'm saying there? So I would have stepped in myself, but I didn't know. I knew Matt, but I didn't know her. All right.
When Clay comes on next week, I'm not going to spoil this, but I think it'd be better if he and I talked about this together. Ask him the game that he and I used to play back in the old Metrodome days.
All right.
And you'll enjoy it.
Well,
I could tell you now, but I think it would be better if he was on the air too.
Brad, we'll have him on when you're on, so you bring it up.
Yeah, I will.
I don't have the greatest memory. Things were very squirrely in the big leagues yesterday. Very squirrely. Silliness everywhere. The Dodgers and Padres emptied their dugouts. A bitter rivalry there has been for years. And it was nothing out of the ordinary, really. You know, I get so tired of the baseball bench clearing crap, and everyone just talks and hugs.
There's a lot of hyperbole in the headlines for sure.
The only thing really original about this is we damn near had a skipper fight.
Roberts coming out as Schilt was yelling in his direction. And now a little shove from Roberts of Schilt. And now everybody unloading onto the field. The manager started, and now the players are involved too.
It was only a matter of time. Toddy's been hit twice and has each time handled it like a pro.
So it was the managers who were the hottest out of everyone on the ball field. Dave Roberts for the Dodgers, and I think his name is Mike Schilt, who is the skipper for the Padres. They did bump bellies. And it looked like they, and again, for the millionth time, let them go. Just let them go. I'm tired of this. You got to sit and wait for all the dugouts to empty and the bullpens. It's just stupid.
I like when it takes a while for the bullpen guys. They're kind of waiting it out, like, do we really got to go out there? And it's, all right, it's escalating. I guess we'll jog out. And they're kind of doing the slow trot, clearly not wanting to get involved. But
every bullpen's got at least one guy who's like 43 years old. You know, he's a veteran.
Dave Roberts does tend to rub a lot of people the wrong way, so it doesn't surprise me that he was involved with something like that.
By the way, in that Dodger game, did you see the pitch that was called so poorly by the home plate umpire, it ruined the possibility for an immaculate inning? Anybody?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. No.
An immaculate inning, in case you don't know, is when a pitcher gets 3 outs, all on strikeouts, on 9 pitches. Strike 1, 2, 3, you're out. Strike 1, 2, 3, you're out until you got 3. And this pitcher for the Dodgers, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, thought he had thrown an immaculate inning. His 9th pitch could not have been more perfectly across the plate. And the umpire,
Here's the 0-2. It is. Oh, no. Marvin Hudson cost him an immaculate inning.
I mean, that's not even close. That is, wow.
Marvin.
I mean, that wasn't even borderline or anything. I mean, that was borderline middle.
They showed the ump's face a few times afterwards, and he kind of had a look on his face like, I've really screwed up. He had a look like this is going to go viral, and I really messed this one up.
In his head, he's just thinking about how he's going to change his phone number after the game.
Yeah, I felt bad for the guy. Pitcher, too. And the pitcher, man, I'll tell you what, he took that in stride.
He did. He gave the ump one quick, dirty look.
And that was it.
And he moved on. And good for him. He got the
He's
out.
a pro.
He got the strikeout eventually, I believe.
He did,
in that at-bat. But, and trust me, I'm the last guy that wants robot umpires. You know, I don't like any type of replay at all. Ever. But but what in God's name what was his name? Marvin something? What was he looking at?
You got to write that off as a brain cramp or something, because I just saw it too. There's no way that's even close to being a ball.
Marvin Hudson. So, Josh, you're saying at one point or another, Marvin was talking to himself a little bit.
Yeah, they show him afterwards a couple times, and he had a look like, dang it, I really messed that up.
What's your name again? Brad Ryder. A listener has texted in. They're curious. This game that you and Clay used to play, is it called the Soggy Sailor?
No.
Okay.
No, it is not.
Hey, did you and Clay ever play Shower Rescue at the Clayboy Mansion?
No, we never played that either.
Well, he's not asking you, Brad.
No, I know you haven't played, Brad. You're too much of a gentleman.
I only ever played one-on-one Shower Rescue, Josh. Never did any kind of group Shower Rescue.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, even you've only rescued one damsel? I thought maybe there'd be a couple of damsels in the same dire straits. So it's just you and one damsel that was in distress.
Well, you were asking if Clay and I played it together.
I was before. Now you said it's always been a one-on-one thing.
Oh, yeah. I never had to rescue 2 girls at once.
You didn't?
No, not in the shower.
But you could if you had to.
I probably could. What happened here at the Pirates-Tigers game in Detroit? A Pirates relief pitcher in the dugout by the name of Dennis Santana got so upset with a Tigers fan who was hanging over the fence hollering at him that he took a swing at him. And he missed. And this Santana guy is saying, hey, the guy crossed the line. He would not explain details on how this fan crossed the line. But he said to the media, hey, you guys know I'm a even-tempered guy, but this guy went too far. He tried to hit the guy in the face.
Oh, he was pissed.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see how mad he was.
Yeah, I mean, in that instance, you still, I know it's hard, but as a player, you still got to get somebody else to take care of that, you know?
It kind of looked like he tried to get security, and then he just blew his top before security could do anything.
There was a security guy there. You're like Josh said, the guy, he just lost his cool. Took a swipe at the sumbitch. Now, what else happened? A Tampa Bay Rays pitcher by the name of Hunter Big or Biggie, I'm not sure, I've never heard of the guy. He got a 105-mile-per-hour baseball. He got that to ricochet off his face.
Alley struck it very hard. This was 105, just to give you an idea how well struck a baseball this was. It hit somebody in that Tampa Bay Rays dugout. Just joining us, we've had a delay now of several minutes as the injured party is attended to by some local EMTs in the first base dugout.
Not on the bump, not while pitching. This Rays pitcher is in the dugout, as you heard the boys explain. He's watching the game. And a foul ball is hooked into the Rays dugout. Dude standing up on the top step, he took it right in the mush. 105 miles per hour. He left the field on a stretcher. He was given the old thumbs up on his way out. But I haven't seen any further information on this guy. But, I mean, the look on the Rays pitcher's face, the look on the Orioles hitter's face.
Oh, yeah, his hand went to his mouth immediately. He knew how bad it was.
Told you, like Josh said immediately, this guy got smoked.
One of those signs of the times I was watching the video and they're showing the crowd. They're not really showing what was going on because it was obviously an ugly scene. And all these people, they're horrified looks on their faces. What's happened? They're all sad. And then there's two teenagers just gleefully looking down their phones, texting, completely unaware of what's happening right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of people at the ball game look up once or twice.
Yeah.
They're fingering their phones the entire time. Back to that pitcher for the Pirates who went after a Tigers fan. A listener has texted in to say, I don't know about you guys, but if there's one thing that I hate, it's when people force me to punch them in the face.
Make me do it.
One of the scariest thing, and now we'll go back to 100-mile-per-hour baseballs destroying people, fans, players alike. One of the most frightening things I ever saw at the old Metrodome. And, of course, this is before netting and things like that does help protect, a lot of the lower bowl there from line drives, not so much from pop-ups, but from line drives. At the old Metrodome, watching the Twins, I'm on the first baseline. There's a left-handed batter up. He could not get around on a fastball and just sprayed it almost perfectly sideways into the first few rows of fans above the dugout, if you can picture what I just said to you.
Yep.
I mean, the amount of time by sound, because the ball was traveling so fast you couldn't even see it. But by sound, this is how fast it was from bat to a guy's friggin' face. I'll never forget it because it was like that quick. Dude's out cold. I mean, the whole crowd just, I believe they did delay the game for a while. And the worst part about it, they put dude on a stretcher. He's still sound asleep. They're carrying him up the stairs, and he had two little kids with him.
Oh, no.
And the kids are crying, and the security guards are holding hands with the kids. That's the worst thing I've seen. At the time, I said that's the worst thing I've seen all day.
When you started that part of the story, I thought you were going to say they were stretchering him up, and they lost control, and he started going back down, kind of like Crunch when he slides down in his sled down the court.
Or like the scene from Naked Gun where OJ's in the wheelchair, and he goes off the...
Yep.
I mean, I just felt so bad for the guy because, I mean, he was knocked out cold, but these two kids are crying and... Finally, from baseball yesterday, Paul Skeens. Randy's going to be sorry he missed this conversation because Randy straight up touches himself to Paul Skeens videos. Terrific starting.
What would Randy do if Paul Skeens and that guy from the Tigers pitched against each other?
Scooble.
Scooble.
He would be coated in baby oil. watching Paul Skeens in a matchup against whatever the guy's name is, Bert Skubal, whatever his first name is.
Yeah.
Great starting pitcher for the Pirates, Paul Skeens. He was pitching yesterday against somebody, it doesn't matter. Now, Paul Skeens' girlfriend is a spicy little pickle by the name of Livy Dunn, who is a professional women's bowler or something. What is she?
No, she's a gymnast, but she's like one of those social media stars or whatever.
Oh.
She's in a ton of commercials. She's very famous.
Okay.
And you're right, she's very cute.
So the Tigers are facing somebody. What am I talking about? We've already been talking about this game. It was Tigers-Pirates. Skeens is on the bump for Pittsburgh. In the bottom of the second inning, the Tigers' mascot, Paws is what he calls himself, he made his way down to the seats right behind home plate, trying to distract Paul Skeens. He was holding a sign that said, "Sup, Livy Dunn," with hearts drawn all over it. It was very funny.
It is funny.
Nice work by the mascot. I don't know if it threw Skeens off at all.
He didn't seem to notice. I'm sure somebody told him about it.
I'm sure he's used to it by this point, that type of thing.
Yeah, good call.
Funny video if you can find it. Funny video. Here's It Can Only Be Jared Jesus, who said, have I seen the old video of the batter who raked the baseball into the opposing dugout 6 times in a row? Nobody got hit, but they all crowded to one side after the second or third time. Yeah, I do remember that now that you bring it up. I couldn't tell you when it was or who it was. But yeah, god dang. The boys in the dugout were all thinking, do we need to walk all the way down to the clubhouse here? What do we? Yeah, the guy kept fouling it right into the dugout. Game 6 of the NBA Finals was all kinds of fun for a guy like me, Brad Ryder.
Yeah.
The Indiana Pacers absolutely mangled the obviously overrated Oklahoma City Thunder. They beat them by 17, but it wasn't even that close.
No.
Indiana had a lead as large as 30, maybe even a little more.
It was 30, I think, at the end of the third quarter.
The Thunders were garbage last night. Garbage. Once the Pacers got hot halfway through the first quarter, it was over.
I've had a sneaky feeling this entire series. I mean, I've had a weird feeling this entire series that it's going to go 7 games, which it has, and I have a weird feeling Indiana's going to steal this last one.
That'd be awesome.
I don't know why I feel that way. I just do.
Well, look at it this way. All the pressure, 1,000% of the pressure is now on Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Totally.
They do have a young ball club. It's been mentioned, no less than 1 million times during this is a young ball. They're very young. I hope the pressure is too much for them. I hope they F it up. I hope they embarrass themselves on Sunday.
Keep an eye. I'm going to even go out on a further limb. Keep an eye on a guy like Pascal Siakam from the Pacers.
Total pimp.
He's an underrated player, A. He's a great player, B. And he also has been on a championship team before with Toronto. Remember, he was a key guy on the Raptors team.
Yeah.
I got a feeling he's going to have a big game on Sunday, and they're gonna steal Game 7.
That'd be beautiful.
He's gonna have like a 25, 28 point, 15 rebound kind of a game, and he's been solid the whole series. I mean, last night he had 16 and 13, but I just got a weird feeling he's gonna have a huge game and they're gonna win.
That'd be so beautiful, and everyone can finally, at least for this basketball season, shut up about the Oklahoma City Thunder. Shut up about FTA.
It's amazing how quickly I got sick of Oklahoma City at the beginning of the year when they were. Yeah, because they went wire to wire, best team, the best record in the league, right? And
pretty much.
And I kept thinking, my God, it's cool, good for them, some fresh blood. That's not the Warriors, it's not LeBron. This will be fun and exciting. And then around the playoffs, I'm like, all of these guys are annoying.
Yeah, one of Indiana's best players, Tyrese Halliburton, who was playing injured or slightly injured or whatever last night, he looked damn good, and he got plenty of help. That's the thing about the Pacers. Everyone contributes. And I want to see it happen on Sunday. Come on. This will be the first Game 7 in the NBA Finals since 2016, if that matters at all to you. Unfortunately, home teams are 15-4 in Game 7s.
I looked it up. Oklahoma City's 8.5-point favorites in Vegas.
8.5 points.
8.5. I'll take the points on that. It's not going to be like that, I don't think.
Be one hell of a party in Indiana if they win.
That was a riot last night. And oh, God, yes. I think so many people, especially the media who's covering the NBA Finals, they've done nothing but prepare for the Thunder to win this series.
Oh, absolutely.
The majority of the conversation is about that club. The majority of the conversation is about FTA. If the Pacers can steal Game 7, they're going to have to draw up a whole new game plan on the post-game shows and everything. They're not prepared to talk about Indiana winning it all. They're not at all.
Yeah, no kidding. They'll be like, all right, I guess I'll take a look at the roster. Who do they got in the Pacers now?
Right. Here's something for you Slapshot fans, and I'm sorry to say that it's sad news. Former professional hockey player Guido Tennesi, who starred in the 1977 movie Slapshot, has passed away at 71 years old. Guido, if you're not familiar by his real name, played the role of the handsome Billy Charlesboy in the film. Didn't have a single line in the film.
He just kind of, he was there to look cool, wasn't he? Wasn't his role just to look cool?
He was the pretty boy on the team, always checking himself out in the mirror. I wonder how those two blondes are taking the news. Always had those two blondes hanging on him. And as a massive fan of that movie, of course, this hits me hard. Cause of death was not announced. And like a lot of the players in the movie Slapshot, Guido was a real hockey player. He was drafted. He played a long career of professional hockey. And while he was playing for the Jonestown, I can't remember, Jets, that's when they started casting real hockey players for the movie. Johnstown Jets. Next thing you know, he's in a friggin' movie with Paul Newman, for Christ's sake. I mean, what a ride that must have been for all those guys. And we've all heard the stories about how as soon as they said cut when they were filming Slapshot, it was just a friggin' keg party. And Paul Newman said it himself. He said he had more fun shooting that film and with that group than he ever had at any other point in his career. It was just a riot, and it shows in the movie. And, Jack Carlson's brothers, Steve and Jeff, who were in the movie. And as a lot of you know, Jack could have been in the movie. But I think he was playing for the Edmonton Oilers at the time, and they made the playoffs, and Jack had to go do his job and play real hockey.
Can't go F off to be in a movie.
But Jeff and Steve Hansen made comments on the passing of Guido Tennesi. The one that got me, I don't remember if it was Jeff or Steve Carlson, who said, "Rest easy, number 5. You're forever a Chief." That is just so cool. So, god dang.
Bet it was also a lot of fun when those boys would get together for reunions and stuff over the years and tell old stories.
My God.
Pound beers together again.
My God. Played hockey, Guido did, all the way until 87. Started in 73 or something like that.
Let's hope the residuals from that movie took care of some of those people, too.
Yeah, I don't know how that works exactly, but I don't know. But, wow. I mean, I love that movie. And, I mean, and reading about it yesterday, there were some great stories about one Carlson brother, Steve. Really interesting stuff. While he was playing for the Oilers in the WHA, Steve Carlson, he was Wayne Gretzky's roommate during his rookie season. I'm sure he's got something to say about that if you talk to him. Steve is one of 6 players ever to have played on a team with Gordie Howe and played on a team with Wayne Gretzky.
Wow. Yeah, that's something, obviously, like you said, not a lot of people can say.
No. And I understand a couple of years ago he got cancer, and we hope the best for him. We got to spend some time with Jack Carlson earlier this year, this winter, at the Stanchion in Corcoran as part of their toy drive, their charity drive. And I got to talk to Jack quite a bit that night, and he is such a wonderful, funny guy. He has got one of the best laughs I have ever heard in my life, and that was just a great experience to get to spend time with Jack Carlson that evening. Now, David Hansen is the name of the actor, or hockey player, who became an actor. David Hansen took Jack's spot in Slapshot. And he became the character Jack Hansen, one of the Hansen brothers, of course. In his legit hockey career, David Hansen, this is what grabbed me yesterday. In his legitimate hockey career, David Hansen became notorious when he accidentally knocked Bobby Hull's hairpiece off of his head during a hockey game. And Bobby Hull must have been pretty vain about his appearance because Hull went back to the locker room to get a helmet. He knocked off his hairpiece. Imagine you're at that game.
Yeah.
My God.
Did somebody throw a rat on the ice?
Mm-hmm. For Pigs fans out there, the Stars re-signed that center, Matt Duchene, to a 4-year deal. We talked yesterday about how the Pigs are going after a couple 3 centers. Duchene was one of them. Well, sorry, he's off the table. He's staying in Dallas. Brad Ryder, former Viking and still current moron Adrian Peterson got into a fist fight during a game of poker, and it was all caught on video. That's how long it takes to cool down Adrian Peterson when he's in a fist fight over a poker game.
Was there any indication as to why? I mean, did he lose? Was he? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. They know each other, Adrian and this guy that he got in a fight with. They play poker together all the time. And all it says here is that they got in some kind of an argument over a hand. Nothing here about cheating. Who knows? I don't ever play poker. I don't know what could possibly happen to where you have to throw hands. But Adrian Peterson, as we all know, isn't the brightest guy in the world.
No.
They were playing cards at a social club in Houston, Texas, is what I have here in front of me. One thing led to another. They squared up. They traded blows, like you heard the audio there, for quite a while. And AP took a few punches to the cake.
He did.
But then he also landed some. Adrian Peterson admitted that alcohol was involved, though he insisted that was not the reason things turned violent. He said, "We know each other. It was like a brother-on-brother situation. We threw some hands, but that was it. He feels bad about it. He regrets it. He insists that they're friends already. They made up already, he and this guy."
So he and Matt Garza are going toe-to-toe for Idiot of the Day.
It's a hell of a week for former Minnesota athletes.
No kidding. I was just thinking the same thing. You got a former Twin, a former Viking. Let's see which one of the former Timberwolves did something yesterday.
Well,
who would be most likely?
Who's most likely?
In your opinion?
Michael Beasley could probably find a way to get in the news somehow.
Well, Michael Beasley was so laid back.
Yeah. But I guess it wouldn't be an anger thing. It'd just be kind of like he'd be in the news for something goofy.
Oh, if we're talking about, let's talk about like a fist fight.
Okay.
Who's the most, if we're talking about AP threw hands, Matt Garza threw hands, what former Timberwolf?
I mean, KG's fiery, but
you know who I want to know? You know who I want to know what's up to these days? I want to know what Nikola Pekovic is up to these days.
Oh, the big pecker.
Yeah.
He's probably living on a farm somewhere. Where is he? Where is that country he's from again?
Yeah, somewhere in Europe.
It's down there by Italy. I can't think of it.
Yeah.
Montenegro,
yeah.
Dude, that calf's
Josh is right. KG runs hot.
He's probably too smart to get involved in something like that, but he definitely has a temper.
And by the way, who would be crazy enough to get in a fight with the big pecker?
Yeah, no.
Guy's hands were like frying pans. But
he was involved in some questionable things. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I heard those stories.
Yeah,
I heard those stories. Same could be said about you.
Well, that's very true.
Been involved with some questionable things. I'm trying to think of one.
This radio show is one of them.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of one former Timberwolf. You know, I've been watching him since the get-go. who, came off kind of like a nutcase fighter.
Well, what about Sprewell?
That's an easy answer. He seemed to have cooled it.
Yeah.
And I'm probably missing something obvious. He seems to have calmed down. ESPN put together something called the NFL All-Quarter Century Team. So the best players since the year of 2000. 4 Minnesota Vikings players made the list, including one current Viking. Who would it be, Brad Ryder? Who's the current Viking that made the All-Quarter Century Team?
The current Justin Jefferson.
That's right. And go ahead and guess the former Vikings who would have made the All-Quarter Century Team. So guys who played well during the 2000s. One is very easy, the other's not so easy.
How many are we talking?
3.
3? One is easy. Boy. I'm drawing a blank.
I know it's been 25 years. We're covering 25 years of football. Go back to the very beginning of the 2000s.
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss.
Yeah. That was the easy one.
Yeah, I'll give you a hint. Size of a house, left guard.
Boy, I'm dating myself.
Came from the Seattle Seahawks.
Hutchinson?
Steve Hutchinson.
There you
go. Okay.
You're going to get this now. Finally, the last guy that made the All-Quarter Century Team, pass rusher.
Everybody I'm thinking of is like in the 90s.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Jared Allen.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Randy wouldn't have got any of those.
Yeah. As a joke, I was going to guess Chris Cluey, but.
Oh, yeah, he had a good run. Warcraft did. There you go. Justin Jefferson, Randy Moss, Steve Hutchinson, and how did I say it again? Jared Allen.
Yeah.
All right, so you're going out of town this weekend, Brad.
Yeah, you almost have to. I mean, if you've got a cabin, you almost have to go this weekend when it's 95.
Well, if you have air conditioning, I had a cabin.
Yeah.
My dad had a cabin for many years, and when it was hot here in the cities, it was also pretty hot up there, and we did not have any air conditioning.
Well, I'm going to probably be in the water 3-4 hours a day the next few days.
Put on a floaty.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brad Ryder.
Yes, you're welcome.
We'll
See
talk
you guys
to you
next
on
week.
Monday. Thank you very much.
Okay.
We'll return here also quite quickly on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
On 93X.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog. Comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
The United States Soccer Federation presents the U.S. Soccer Podcast.
Inside the opening 45 seconds. What a goal! Jack McGlynn with that cannon of a left foot.
Never miss a game.
What a start for the United States.
Shot for distance. What a goal!
Never miss a moment.
Exquisite from the San Diegan. Can he finish? Yes, he can. Yeah!
The U.S. Soccer Podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Half-Assed Morning Show, 93X.
God dang, F this. It's Friday. It's Friday. Don't get me wrong. Brother and sisterhood. I dig you. Dana, Josh, you guys are all right. But I'm ready to F this deal up. Welcome back to the program. Everybody's getting ready to F off and go enjoy themselves this weekend. As much enjoyment as you can get when it's 134 degrees out. So good luck to all of you this weekend. Heard about a lot of events earlier, outdoor events.
Oh, it's a busy weekend.
Windstock, Rockin' Rogers days, this, that. It's a busy weekend, and it's going to be hot. All right. There was a time years ago where I was Hennepin County's heavyweight champion of the Code Brown. I was. It's well documented. I know that information is slightly off-putting. I'm sorry. But it's true. I abused myself with the beer drinking and the garbage food so badly that my stomach was always a mess. Josh was on the front lines for a lot of it. I was almost daily diving headlong into a gas station bathroom or worse because disaster was about to strike.
The panic on your face at times just sitting here in studio, and it was always right before shaver. For whatever reason, like that time of morning.
7:30.
You could hear your stomach drop and the look on your face change.
Yes.
You knew you were in some serious trouble.
And as I've discussed before many times on the program, there were times that I did not make it. I got to know all there is to know about public bathrooms, not only here in town, but also in the outstate area. I've shared a lot, probably too much. Now check this out. There's a lady right here in Minnesota that the 8th graders and the social media junkies are talking about because here's what she's upped and done. She's rating toilet paper at public places and then throwing her score, her rating up on social media. That's what she's doing. And she's been doing it for 5 years. She keeps herself anonymous, I understand.
Yeah.
She does not want the accolades, John.
That's uncommon on social media.
And it's all, she's kind of doing a superhero thing too, She doesn't want any recognition for the good deed she's doing for people who use public bathrooms.
Yeah, it's good to know. Some people are very particular about their TP.
They can be, yes.
Oh, I am.
I'm not at all.
She's not but you're probably the most regular guy in town.
Oh, I'm not regular at all.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah, I wish.
You're tortured by constipation.
Yeah.
So you don't go to the bathroom enough to care what kind of toilet paper.
Yeah.
You're just happy it happened.
Oh, I never even considered that.
That's got to be it.
Yeah, I'm distracted and I don't even. Okay.
I can't recall if we've had this conversation before. So you really don't care if I went and bought you.
I would prefer it, but I don't. I don't really care. To give you an example, we buy the cheapest stuff you can get just to save a couple of bucks. But I know, people have said I'm insane for that, but it's never. Maybe just because I grew up with that and I just have used kind of what we have.
I've never taken a deuce at your house.
And don't you have a bidet in the bathroom too, Josh?
We do now.
Okay.
And I thought it was ridiculous. I thought it was an unnecessary expense, and now I don't know if I'd ever go back, which is what everybody who has a bidet has told me.
Yep.
After that, I'm never doing the bidet thing.
That's what I said, too.
I've never used your bathroom for a two-skis at your home. If I did, I would have something to say to you.
Oh,
if you're really using just that paper-thin, awful... Why do you do that to yourself? Just to save a couple of bucks?
We do put good toilet paper in that bathroom, though.
Oh.
Like the guest bathroom. We're good hosts.
I don't know how you can live that way. I don't know how you can live that way. But anyway, there's this anonymous woman running around on social media. If you want to look her up, she calls her page, or whatever the proper term is, Twin Cities Toilet Paper Reviews. And she's been doing it, like I said, for 5 years. It's pretty simple. She posts a picture of the toilet paper and then shares her thoughts and offers a letter grade. I wonder how some of the businesses and restaurants is she doing everything? Gas stations, restaurants?
It seems that way.
I wonder how they feel about it when she gives them a bad review. Oh, I guess that's maybe why she remains anonymous.
Sure.
I never thought about that. She probably could be sued. These days, you probably could be sued for saying something bad about someone's toilet paper if you say it in the wrong way.
Well, it's the same thing if you criticize a restaurant or something on social media, saying, hey, I just got a plate of wings at this place and they're garbage.
Okay, but is it possible that you could face... Well, yeah, we've read stories where people have lit up a restaurant on social media and this restaurant has said, I'll see your ass in court.
It's funny.
I didn't know that.
A couple of folks in the military, they want us to know the government is definitely not wasting tax dollars on toilet paper.
Oh, poor guys and gals.
So if you're upset about taxes, it's not going there. You got to give the military good toilet paper.
Do something. I don't know. I guess I don't know why she remains anonymous. Maybe because this is just so silly, but maybe because she doesn't want anyone coming after her for a bad review. As stupid as that sounds, we all know that a great majority of the public these days, they're just waiting to sue somebody for something. So whatever. I'm not sure on that whole deal.
Simon says, a bidet? Oh, how posh. I just waddle outside and use a garden hose. It would save me hundreds.
Honey, spray me down.
Hey, I know. I understand. I feel embarrassed.
What else do you need to know about this lady who's dumping toilet paper grades on every place she stops to take a... She says her grading system is completely vibes-based. Interesting. I'm not exactly sure what that... I'm into vibes, but I still am not exactly sure what that means.
I think she's just saying she doesn't have like a criteria and a checklist she goes through. She just kind of... How she feels about it, kind of gut instinct kind of thing.
Gut instinct. You're being cute. You're trying to be fresh with me right now.
Anytime we talk about this kind of thing, public bathrooms, there's a few that always come in as the best. The airport.
Yep.
And Quick Trip. It seems like those are the top two people say those are the best.
Okay.
And the Varsity Theater over here on campus, a couple of years ago, I ranked one of the best bathrooms in the country.
Is that, seriously?
What
yeah.
Joint? Who? The Varsity Theater over on campus.
Sure. Well, I haven't been there in 35 years.
Another person in the military, the toilet paper that the military buys us dissolves upon skin contact.
Well, that's not right.
That is not right.
That's not right. Give them something.
HVAC SVC Jesus just drags his bottom across the carpet in the living room like the dog.
This lady doesn't factor in brands, though she says she can ID any toilet paper brand on site.
Seriously?
A blind wipe test? Oh, yeah, that's definitely Charmin.
Her favorite is Charmin Ultra SAWFT Soft. Now, a funny side story on this lady is she says most men don't realize that women have to wipe after they go pee-pee. I didn't know that until...
I knew that.
It took me a long time.
Yeah, it took me a long time to know that.
Mm-hmm.
You knew that from the get-go, you're saying, Josh, as a young kid?
Grew up with a lot of women in the house, and I knew that.
Yeah,
they never showed me, but I guess I don't know how I learned that information, but I learned it from them.
I just figured they shook it off like we did, but no, okay. So, she said when she does these reviews, she can tell when a man or a woman is responding to her. Some people respond to her reviews. Most men assume I'm going around from toilet to toilet, public bathroom to public bathroom, and taking a shh. She says, no, I'm a woman. We use toilet paper every time.
You know, it's funny because even though I knew that women use it for that purpose, I also assumed she was going number 2.
Just taking dumps everywhere?
Yeah. Dishwasher dude Jesus said he crapped himself at work yesterday. I thought I'd make it through my 37 years without doing that.
Happens to the best of us.
All right, so those of you who have to make a pit stop, I mean, a lot of you do it every day just because you're on the road, you're a driver, or you're a contractor and you're going, well, whatever. There's many reasons why your occupation would lead you to a lot of public bathroom stops. But also, if you're one of these folks that has gut rot like I used to, and you're going to be bouncing around, not that you have the opportunity to choose very often, but this gal says the highest rated toilet paper that she's experienced is at a joint called Barrel Theory Beer Company, and that is in St. Paul.
Yeah, I've been there. I don't recall the toilet paper situation, but it's a cool spot.
What do you think of the stuff we get here, Nick? I mean, it's definitely cheap.
Oh, I have it right here in front of me.
What do you...
It's cheap, but it's much better than the worst I've ever seen and or felt. The stuff that I'm picturing at your house. Okay, so you said in your guest bathroom you keep the good stuff.
Yeah, we keep good stuff.
In your own personal bathroom, you keep toilet paper thinner than what we have here at work?
Yeah, you've ever...
That's stupid.
Have you had a spring roll?
Oh, my God.
One that's not fried? It's half that thickness.
Oh, man. You better wipe. You better bound your hand in that stuff, man.
If I end up living with you someday, that's going to change.
I would buy you nice toilet paper.
I've told you before, when I hit the head, I basically make a pillow in the palm of my hand.
Yeah.
This is Army toilet paper. This text says it's nicknamed John Wayne paper because it don't take crap from no one.
Again, that's just so sad.
So, anonymous toilet paper ranker lady who's on social media here in town. The best, she said, Barrel Theory Beer Company, St. Paul, Minnesota. The worst, she says, State Fair. She said the paper was so thin it should be criminal.
Thank God I've never had to do that there. You I know have, Nick.
Oh, yeah.
Your thoughts? Do you
Well,
remember?
it's been a while. Because of my improved lifestyle, it's been a while since I had to cut one at the Great Minnesota Sweat together. But I remember it to be, I think I used 3/4 of the roll for just my first wipe. You know what I'm saying? Because it was brutal. This gal is going to start her own website now. She's hit that level where she's going to start her own website. She's going to start a newsletter. I would love to be a guest on your program, ma'am, if you want to talk this kind of nonsense. I would love to have a conversation with you.
I like things like this on social media. They're just kind of fun, whimsical, and silly rather than just the political nonsense or just the fighting or arguing about everything.
Oh, I bet by comment number 3 it gets political. I've learned usually just don't go past the first 2.
Right. I bet you're friggin' right. You're friggin' right. Sadly, even some ass hat is going to turn this. Isn't that sad? It's so wrong and sad, but you're right, Josh.
Yeah, nowadays you're kind of like afraid to say anything because you're wondering, is that political? I mentioned I like Rocky Road ice cream. Is there something there I'm not aware of?
Well, you know, Rocky Road was a favorite ice cream of this politician. So you must be a liberal!
Rocky Road, you say? Obviously a guy that doesn't mind tariff.
That's right.
I don't even know what you mean.
All right.
Salt Lake City Airport. That's where you want to poop.
Yeah?
Yep. A couple people have texted in on that. Well, we always hear how great the Minneapolis airport is.
Oh, really? I was unaware of that. Maybe I heard it and just forgot all about it. I'll tell you what. They better have, now that I'm thinking about it, they better have quality wipe at the airport bathroom, because why is that? Well, it's a question that's easily answered, because you're having folks from all over the world unleash the flurry. Fury is how you say it, as fast as possible, right? Mm-hmm. I was going to ask, why is it so rank in there all the time? The airport bathroom is always so bad.
Sweaty travelers taking massive.
Yeah, one guy had a meal in Istanbul this morning. The other guy was in Houston. The other guy was in Biafra, and it all oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, you got to just picture different parts of the country and people from. It's like, I don't want to go in there when someone from New Jersey is going on. And that's probably not a fair way to look at it, but for whatever reason, I think it'd be worse than any other part of the country.
I hear what you're saying. I do, Cubby. By damn loud and clear. We're getting there now. Got to wrap it up here in about 7 minutes. Hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Don't overdo anything and end up passing out on the sidewalk or anything silly like that. For Christ's sake, use your head. We were talking about public bathrooms a little bit. Well, specifically, there's this lady on the godless, soulless, and often wildly misinformed internet. She's a local gal, I guess. She goes and hits as many public bathrooms as she can, and she rates their toilet paper. Puts it all up online for you to check out if you're interested in such a thing. So we got to talking about public bathrooms. As I was saying, there are many reasons why you might be a frequent visitor of a public bathroom, gas station, strip mall, whatever. Maybe you're a driver for a living. You got to pull over and use the McDonald's bathroom. Maybe you do this. Maybe you do that. Here's a lady listener. I'm not going to say her name. Maybe she doesn't want me to say her name. Talking about how and why she uses public bathrooms. She said, I use public restrooms because I can't poop over at this guy's house that I'm interested in.
Oh, yeah.
That's
sure.
always a tough spot.
I've heard that like at hotels when, couples will go on their first hotel trip. They'll use the lobby bathroom or something like that for that very reason.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
My last apartment was so small that I would find an excuse to have to go down to, like, oh, I left something in my car, and I'd go down to the park, just go down the lobby to have to take care of that because there's no hiding it in that tiny apartment I lived in.
Well, yeah, I think I've told you this before, but one of my buddies rotted out he and his wife's tiny apartment so badly enough times to where she said, you're not allowed to use our bathroom anymore. You have to go to the lobby. And he said, what? But she said, you're just not going in there. It's horrible. Anyway, a lot of folks can relate to what you texted in, ma'am, where you said, I got to use the public restroom because I'm not going to take a deuce at this guy's house that I'm interested in. I remember one afternoon where I made a fool of myself. I mean, had I known this gal for a little longer, I would have said, hey, turn the stereo up. I got to go into your bathroom for a little while, right? But I didn't know her that well. And one afternoon, I mean, I think I had only been there for about 20 minutes, and we're just visiting. We're just hanging out. And it hit me. And this was like Jeff Daniels from Dumb and Dumber type intensity. And I tried to just let it ride and prayed it would correct itself. But pretty quickly, I am pouring sweat and in a great deal of pain. So they had 2 bathrooms at this apartment. And I thought to myself, okay, I guess I could go use this one. And then I thought, well, the other one is a little further, but that's her roommate's bathroom. And what if her roommate came? I just panicked. And I just said, in the middle of our conversation, I said, I got to go. And she said, what do you mean you got? I said, I got to go. I don't remember if I came up with an excuse or not. I think I just said, I have to leave right now, and I left. And I'll never forget the confused look on her face.
Yeah.
And then I think a couple, 3 hours later, she called, and I admitted that I had to race across the street. I was too embarrassed to come back.
Oh, of course.
So I just said, I got to go.
I just needed a breath of fresh air, babe.
A lot of folks can relate to that.
That's funny.
Oh, man. I was sweating, Josh. Sweating like I was Mary Lou Retton.
I can imagine. And just praying like, oh, come on, go away. You're probably going to go away.
It didn't go away.
When the 2 colonoscopies I've had, when you have the prep the night before or whatever, I had asked my wife, like, can you just, like, get out of the general vicinity? I don't want you to be a part of this.
Up and down you go. Up and down off the chair.
Yeah.
Going to the bathroom all damn night.
Maybe we could be on different floors just for the evening.
Well, we covered number 2 skis. How about some onesies real quick before we go? Bathroom anxiety is maybe more common than you think. 51% of Americans experience pee-ziety. I don't even like saying that out loud because I think if we sat down for a couple hours, we could come up with something better than that. Mm-hmm. But here in the article, they call it pee-ziety, stress about whizzing, in a public bathroom with other people.
I had a girlfriend
just you getting out your gear with other people.
She couldn't pee unless she was alone, and she had this thing called the Shy Bladder app where it basically made sounds of running water. She needed both of those things in order to pee. She couldn't have anyone else in the bathroom, and she needed that app to hear the water running, and it made her bladder go. That's what she needed.
But she was less embarrassed just playing those sounds in a public bathroom versus just going?
Right.
She was not duck, man.
I mean, she had a medical problem?
No, it wasn't medical, but she was an anxious peer. Like, she couldn't pee in front of other people, embarrassed her, and she needed that sound to help get things moving for her.
That's what helped get it moving. Because I was going to say, if she was just looking for a sound to cover the sound of her urination, she could have played a song on her phone or something. But there was something about the sound of running water that helped her. That is weird. Mm-hmm. I would be more embarrassed to play the sound. Hey, here we go. You don't call it pee-ziety. You call it being piss-stressed.
Distressed.
Piss-stressed.
Piss-stressed.
Yeah, that's way better. I thought we'd need a couple hours. It took 2 minutes.
More anxiety than hair. Jesus suffers from shy bladder big time. If he's peeing and someone walks in and stands next to him, he stops dead in his tracks.
Oh.
No control.
What are you talking about? He cuts it off?
All right, it just happens, I guess.
Wow. Oh, it happens naturally.
Well, if you come on the boat, if we see you on the boat, I want to pee next to you and just see if we can try and solve this. What do they call that? Immersion therapy or something like that?
Yeah, let's have one big pee.
Are you pee shy, Josh?
I have a mild case of it, very mild, but I've developed tools over the years to get past it. But certainly, like, there's every once in a while, I've mentioned this before, but if there's a line, I get a little anxiety, like I'm not going to go fast enough, and sometimes that ruins it where I can't start. Where I start to think, oh, what if I can't get this going fast enough?
So over half of us have bathroom anxiety. Or I should say, I'll use the old term, more than half of us are pee shy or piss stressed. I like that quite a bit. Do you mind if I tell a funny story about you and I hip to hip in the men's room, Josh?
Of course.
And this was a long time ago. And you can tell us if anything has changed. Because we're hip to hip in the men's room almost every day. Hand in hand. But one day, we got into that position and we each hauled our gear out to make a number one. And Josh, I'm sure you don't remember this, but you said out loud, you said, exactly like this, you said, my penis is so pencil thin. That's what you said.
Yeah. Like a pencil that's been used for a whole semester. It's just thin and short.
And I don't remember if I tried to talk you off that ledge or compliment you in any way.
You've always been very complimentary of my penis.
Yeah, I've always said it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. But that was just kind of out of nowhere and new. Our relationship was new at the time, and it's just something I'll always remember about you.
I like honesty.
All right, we got to get out of here.
Yeah, we should probably go. Best of luck to the runners in the Grandma's Marathon tomorrow, the folks at Back to the 50s, and all the other events we learned about this morning. That's happening this weekend. Happy birthday to Navy Vet Lawn Care Jesus of Port Canaveral, formerly of St. Paul. Stripping Sparky Jesus. Text the Luther Bloomington Kia text line with a shout-out to his soon-to-be wife, Feisty Ginger Jesus, turning 21 on Sunday. Happy 39th birthday to Wales from Bruins RG1. Happy birthday to Rochelle, currently on a trip to Alaska from Local 34 Jesus. Happy 31st to Rice County Bushlight Jesus. Happy Saturday birthday to the super hot Tools Jesus. And to you, have a great, hot, and sexy weekend. Unless we melt to death over the weekend, we're back full strength, likely with Ashley on Monday.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me, as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog, comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.